All right. Hello, everybody. Hello. Welcome back to Do All the Things, where we're going to be doing all the things, quite frankly. We're going to be getting everything. And in this case, Ratchet and Clank Future 100% today, or Future Tools of Destruction 100%. There's multiple of these future games. I'm not familiar with this series, so forgive me. But yeah, should be awesome. Ratchet and Clank runs are very, very cool. But before he starts, if you're watching on YouTube, you should come over to the Twitch channel sometime, twitch.tv/GamesDoneQuick. Why not? Also, if you're watching YouTube, press that like button on the video and subscribe if you want to. Would be pretty cool. This show airs every other Friday at 1 p.m. PST, 4 p.m. EST, etc., etc. So yeah, check it out if you want to. For now, I say let's get into it. Hello, Killa. Hello.
Yo, how's it going?
How you doing? Doing pretty well. How about you?
Hanging in there. Decided to wake up, maybe do a hundo run or two. Today we're doing one. But a couple things that should probably go off to the start about the run. For most people that have played this game, this isn't the proper menu for the game. So the biggest thing to kind of note about this is that I'm playing on a Japanese console with the NTSCU version, aka the American version of the game, downloaded onto the JP copy. The way this affects the game and affects the screen is that essentially the JP console is trying to read JP models from the American version of the game. Because it's not located in the American version of the game, it just does a black screen. And it's going to be very important because coming up, there's supposed to be a 2-minute intro cutscene that's unskippable. But because it's not there, you can't find the proper models for it, it says screw it and then lets us go into the game within 10 seconds. So that's a pretty good thing to kind of go into starting forward. And there are going to be a couple visual differences between Ratchet's model because he's trying to use the JP model versus the American one. So we have that to kind of go into it. I should also probably introduce my commentator. I have Torp with me as well.
Hello, that is me. That Torp do be dorpin'.
But yeah.
So true.
100% is probably one of my favorite categories right now. I've always kind of loved 100% games in general. And it took me forever originally to even just 100% this game. It being one of the only Ratchet and Clanks that doesn't have a platinum trophy. Hopefully we get that patch at some point. Might be a little bit too late for that. But anyway,
possibly.
I'll go ahead and get the run started, and then we can go ahead and start talking about movement and everything we got. So I'll go ahead and do a countdown in 3, 2, 1, go.
Yeah, to describe what Killa was talking about before, specifically the FMV file cutscenes are the ones that get skipped because they can't call the models correctly. Unfortunately, no, not even unfortunately, because the cutscenes that get skipped because of the FMV thing are normally unskippable, and anything else that actually can just properly call a Ratchet model is just a regular skippable cutscene will start. But yeah, that's why you just don't see anything about how they end up where they are at the start on Kerwin or any of that. I guess we should start off by saying this is actually probably one of the hardest tricks on the run, and there's a new method of doing this. On Planet Kerwin, this level takes 5 minutes or something like that casually, because you're going through a bunch of rails, running through an entire city getting destroyed, because, well, they're leveling the city trying to find Ratchet. But if we just do a cute little out of bounds here...
I hit the cutscene trigger, so that's fine.
Oh, nice, you got the checkpoint. So, the geometry up here is weird in such a way where Ratchet can kind of just force himself through. And when we're out of bounds here, we can use this to climb on the inside of the building. Because, fun little thing about Ratchet and Clank level design, they tend to put the ends of levels near the beginnings.
This ledge hates me.
The rail that you take to end the level is right above where we're at right now. So, with some smart out-of-bounds movement, this is actually much tougher than it looks. Killa's
Right,
looking to
looks
land
hard,
on
too.
Killa's looking to land on the very like it's like a very specific invisible ledge that if you're too far right will spit Ratchet out of bounds into the void, and too far left you clip out or you clip back in.
Invisible
because of
walls
this,
are also pretty fun. That happens a
Yeah.
lot. Kerwan is
it's not
heavy for resets.
I probably reset at least 60% of my runs, for example, anyway. I guess a little bit of background about us, since we've already rambled on about Kerwin Clip for the most part. Killa and I are both world record level runners of this game. We both have held the sweep in this game at some point. And
I want to switch the
both of us,
helipad.
we tend to have a history that goes a bit of a way back where we kind of always encourage each other to bop us more than we are motivated to bop each other. But yeah, through that, Killa's been running this game for about, am I correct in assuming, like, at least 7 years?
It's close. Very close to that. Alright. Kerwan, do you want to behave and let us go to the next planet, please?
This just seemed like one of those games in general, especially this run right here, where there's just always so much to improve in it.
We're saying screw this trick. We're going to old strats.
Yeah.
Oh, maybe.
So that method that Killa was trying to do before, that was found within the past year by a runner named Emir that we might have only started implementing in like the last like 2 or 3 months.
Procrastination, baby.
Woo!
Compared to this current out of bounds that Killa is doing, the new out of bounds saves like
At least 30
upwards of 10
seconds.
seconds, I want to say.
I wouldn't say closer to 30, but it's probably more closer to like 15 or 20. I always overestimate my times.
Because community gold before was like a 115 or 114, and the best time now that anyone's gotten was a 104 on Kerwin, so I would assume about 10 seconds.
Yeah.
All right, so we're through the cutscene now. This is like the one FMV you can't actually skip, but that's because Ratchet's not in the cutscene.
It's also because his pass is inside.
True, we have to learn about that specific thing. I don't know who he is, but apparently his pass is inside. Keep that building in mind, we're going there later. Something I should mention here as well while we're sitting through the cutscene, when you see a white screen like this at the start of a level, you can actually move during this. As such, Killa's going to use that to spawn further ahead in the level.
Now, I did get the
It's not going to
funny.
be too important here, but
I did get the funny audio glitch as well. So it doesn't happen too often, like whenever me and Torp are playing, because we normally play with like song requests on. But the beginning of Kobalia, if you move it in the start in a place that isn't where it intends you to start, it spawns Ratchet in without any music.
and I don't think the music actually picks back up until you spawn the Leviathan.
Yeah.
Where it just does like that, like almost like set of sour notes.
Wait, there was a Leviathan there?
Coming up. Oh yeah, what Leviathan? Because speaking of Emir, shoutouts to Emir, by the way. Neither of these were possible without him.
All right.
We're going to be showcasing a very relatively new discovery as well. Normally we'd have to go through, fight a boss, get a Leviathan soul, and kind of just walk through the front door.
That should be good enough.
Getting a Hyperstrike proxy here lets us store up a ton of speed to where we can climb onto these rocks from out of bounds, effectively skipping the entire Leviathan fight. This alone saves, like this method saves about, am I correct in assuming about 20 seconds if done right?
If not a little bit more. So I got
if you get
everything right there. I just didn't get a ledge grab.
Depending on the speed you get out of that proxy, you can actually get enough speed to go straight to Smuggler, which starts the next part of the level, and that saves like 30, almost 40 seconds. But in runs, we typically tend to settle for either one of them just because the trick itself can be very finicky. The game did get a bit more reset heavy with the advent of these strats.
All right.
But I promise that this is going to be the last of like the crazy stuff in terms of really hard things.
Zoom? Thank you.
So there's technically more that Leviathan skip effects, but we're not going to worry about that for now because I feel like we're already like info dumping a ton about what's going on in the run right now, so I don't want to like throw everything out in the first like 5 minutes.
Might I ask a quick question in that case?
Sure.
What's up?
So what is 100% in this game?
You know, that's
All
a
skill
fair
points.
thing.
Yeah.
All skill points, all the goodies. You know, you got to do all the things.
Of course.
Yeah. Basically, since this game doesn't have a platinum trophy, this was before the trophies were added to like PSN in general. This game itself keeps track of its completion through skill points. And there's a skill point for getting everything, which
Pretty much summarizes everything.
yeah, it's just called the hardest to core, and I think the description even just says get every single thing possible. Kill, I can't believe you missed doing that clip before. Well, what's up with that?
Wait, sorry, which one?
Okay, I was trying to set up for a bit there, but yeah. So there's a skill point in this game where you actually have to be bad to get the skill point.
Oh.
You have to fall in the goop in 2 separate spots, and yeah, the skill points that happen in this game tend to be anywhere from like, hey, fall in these specific puddles of mud, or hey, have like 5 enemies turned into penguins at one time, and they range anywhere from like tasks like that to whole completion criteria like max out your weapons, get all the gold bolts, construct the rhino. Well, that's under all weapons.
Run through a level
like
with
that.
only your wrench.
So there's a lot of things that we're going to be managing all at once, starting right now, for example, with the Groovatron glove.
You should see that smuggler about the ride he promised.
Just saying, like, all those skill points range from, like, silly to, like, a lot. Basically.
Yes.
Yes.
You gotta think Insomniac, they love their puns. So there's actually a ton of puns in the skill points.
They really want you to get all the things.
Yeah.
Big fan, honestly.
I think the best one, honestly, is Disco Inferno.
Burn, baby, burn.
Oh yeah, that's just when we naturally get in the run anyway.
Yeah,
now that I think about it, we don't ever deliberately do it just because it happens.
It happens due to our grind.
So, Disco Inferno is a skill point we get later where you have to kill enemies with the Pyro Blaster while they're dancing.
I knew it. Something like that. I had a feeling.
Oh yeah, speaking of being able to move in cutscenes, there is a missile drop section here, and to that I say, haha.
Nah, we're just gonna skip
What
that.
missile drop? I forgot how long the cutscene took to load.
You should try using one of our devices against that.
That's going to be the basis of a few skips in later levels. You can actually maneuver Ratchet in the cutscene to put him in such a state where he either can't perform the missile drop properly or won't missile drop properly.
That was very close. I think you realize just how close I'm talking about, Torb.
I saw the frames chug. It was looking like Scarlet and Violet out there.
Oof. Okay.
Oh yeah, that's one thing. I'm gonna try not to get sidetracked too much while doing this run. I've actually been in like, forgive my language, but I've been in registration hell trying to get into Pittsburgh regionals for Pokemon stuff. So I'm constantly refreshing Twitter in the meantime. So if I go silent for a moment, that's because I'm checking Twitter.
Also, welcome to our first actual movement tech of the game.
Ooh.
Oh yeah, glitched wall jumps. So Ratchet normally, you jump along a wall, along a flat surface, and Ratchet jumps off of it, right? Well, The game does not like it when Ratchet jumps off of a wall, jumps off of a curved surface.
Vectors.
And on top of that, the Shock Ravager is a really effective weapon just as a movement tool, because if you've noticed, we've been kind of using it in terms of combat to like jumping with the Shock Ravager, for example, does like better chain lightning, but if you also notice, it gives us a slight little height boost. It has another property where out of a glitched wall jump, if you do not move the stick at all, and while you're holding glide hit fire, it preserves your momentum and angle. And this can be used to quite literally fly through levels. Case in point, we're supposed to get the Robo Wings there, but like, who needs those?
Hey Torb, can you do me a favor? Remember RoboCop?
No, I do not have lays on me.
Oof.
Okay, RoboCop?
Yeah.
True, that is my favorite Sega Genesis game.
So yeah, we have a very specific objective once we get the fast tune here. We got here by an escape pod, but the escape pod is no longer able to fly, so we have to find some way off this planet.
Oh hey, look at that. That looks like you could build a ship.
Oh look, a ship. I mean, what?
Wow. That was pretty convenient.
Whoa.
But yeah, there's 6 Lombax flight components on the shape of a giant plug for some reason. But apparently Aphelion was just missing a couple fuses. So we're just gonna go and find all those, that way we can power her up.
Yeah, Aphelion forgot to update her drivers. Oh yeah, heads up. I don't know if you've made the enemies dance here or not.
I do it at the door.
That's something we should mention. Speaking of skill points that span entire completion criteria, one of the things we need to do in this game is, no joke, make one of every kind of enemy dance.
Rip robot and turret. Doesn't count.
Yeah, that one makes me sad. And without us getting copyrighted, the skill point everybody dance now is a completion criteria for that. It can only be done on one continuous playthrough, and it includes bosses that you fight one time. So, needless to say, that kind of really dictates a lot of the reasons why we do what we do in the route. And
we used to only do the Gravitron stuff in NG+, because there's a gadget that helps tremendously with that. But we've decided to move it to any %, that way we can skip more planets.
Oh no, I'm going robot, I think.
I think... No, they're back, okay.
Okay.
Just a little buffering.
Oh yeah. I completely forgot to mention glitch glide state. We don't know why it works. Something about Clank's time stop on slopes. We don't know why it works. We just know how to do it and we use it. And you can use it twice there to fly over the door and come and collect this Ratchet part as Clank.
Thing
it's
is,
pretty cool.
Clank doesn't like water. So as soon as we're done with the component, we're just going to have him jump in the water.
To be fair, he is a robot made of metal. I figure they're not going to react with water that well.
Alright, I'm going to need a couple more bolts. So I'm going to sidetrack for some bolts real quick. That should be good.
So yeah, we have to take special care to make a lot of different kinds of enemies dance. And we only have 3 Groovitrons at max at any given time. So the basis of this route comes down to being able to effectively route what Groovitrons get used where. So where we have to minimize, to where we can minimize the detours needed for said Groovitrons.
And then here we are.
It actually ends up being a really, like, the skill point sucks casually, but in the run, it's actually one of the coolest things to route out because it means everything we do in this route serves a very specific purpose.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, hope you like Star Fox. Ratchet and Clank at the time was like really into making a lot of different like little game modes. Well, I say they're like mini games, but they themselves called it maxi games because it was like supposed to be much more engaging and like rewarding than like a mini game because again, big tangible rewards like a lot of bolts. Reason why I had to sit through this is there are skill points in the ship levels and there are gold bolts. And we may as well get it all in one visit.
Hang on, Clank. We'll lose him in the asteroid belt.
Yeah, so over the run, we're supposed to visit 6 auto-scrollers because there's 3 auto-scrollers in a standard playthrough. We're going to see 4 auto-scrollers in total today. And by see, I mean we're going to visit 4.
All right. So we could describe like why we don't visit 6 instead go to 4, but we're gonna save that for later in the run. Let's just say, imagine there's a bus, and like you found a way to just completely skip 2 stops.
No.
Ratchet is the bus driver.
Just like Super Mario Bros.
Exactly. I mean, he's the one piloting
It's
the
always a
ship. That's how
bus.
you're getting to places. I mean, what is a ship but a personalized bus through outer space?
Honestly, so true. I didn't think about it that way before.
I don't know if you caught it earlier, Torp, but when you said Ophelia needed to update her drivers, like, very much double entendre there.
Oh yeah, I know. So yeah, we're taking special care to hit all of like the raritanium buckets and everything here because that's one of the skill points. And just killing enemies here gets you bolts just from like, again, they want you to have like some reward from shooting all the things here.
We should probably explain why I went and got more bolts at the end of Fastoon rather than just completing the planet.
I feel like that's pretty self-evident. We haven't really talked about it too much, but yeah, weapons are bought with bolts in this game, and well, big shocker. This is like what, the 6th game in the series at this point. But one of the big things that comes from a Ratchet and Clank speedrun, especially when it comes to like an any percent or 100% category, is bolt routing. You need specific amounts of bolts to get certain weapons at certain times to get through the run faster. And the bolt range we're trying to hit is 35,000. This is to let us buy a weapon on the next level just to make the arena like 10 times easier.
This is like the most we're gonna have to worry about bolts, by the way. After this bar, we don't really need to worry too much about bolts. We just need to make sure that we're passively collecting them.
Not even that. Like,
Yeah.
like how many bolts do you think we pick up in the run?
Well, it depends on if you sell the souls at the end.
I guess, yeah.
Because you could hit the cap if you really wanted to. Have
And you might
max
be asking
bolts.
how. It's a surprise tool that'll help us later.
It's
So
really
coming
like
up right now,
it's really like Star Fox, like you said. We're fighting Andros right now.
Oh, yeah.
true.
And we actually got good RNG on Andros. Let's go.
Heck yeah, let's go.
So this is the basis of like the time save and ship levels. Each boss has a spot or has a weak spot that only gets revealed after a specific attack, and which attacks they do are RNG, with them not being able to do the same attack more than twice. So
Which we got the mouth laser twice, which is what we want to see on the first auto-scroller.
yeah. It doesn't matter too much on this level, but later levels it can create a lot of variance, upwards of like
40 seconds, at least.
I think my AGB record, actually, funny enough, I think has 40 to 45 seconds of time lost just from boss RNG.
Dang.
All right. So now that we have a feeling, oh, hold on, I'm scuffed. I have to do it.
We have a new method of movement.
We're just gonna jump off Aphelion and just go where we need to.
So you know how like you know how like every like in like every game, the physics of like jumping off of something that's moving is either you jump and the thing goes on without you, or you jump with it. Ratchet's like the complete opposite case, where if something's sitting still and you can jump on it, for some reason it just launches you.
Ratchet likes to take momentum and just keep it all for himself.
Yeah. So you thought we only had one way of flying through levels. No, we have like, it's not an exaggeration to say we have like 5 different ways of flying through levels.
We have a couple. Oh, no.
But yeah, here at the arena, we're gonna buy the Shard Reaper, and there's like a few upgrades that we can use Raritanium for. This just lets us go through the arena just that little bit quicker.
Oh, dude, I love Shard Reaper Groovatron.
Oh, true.
All right.
But yeah, Gil is also gonna keep in mind like knowing when to throw the Groovatrons to get certain enemies dancing. Other things you can do, like you can have enemies aggro onto you and then like walk into the range of the Groovatron to dance. It's a whole lot of micromanagement that ends up actually like all adding up after a while.
Right.
And while this arena like might look like Killa's like stalling for a little bit of time, again, part of it's trying to get enemies to dance now because we can only really get it all in one playthrough.
We can only get them now. That was
not
close.
called Everybody Dance Later.
Everybody dance now. Literally right now.
It's like,
I kind of want to bring up
imagine that
electrified enemies. Because I've almost done it twice.
oh yeah, don't they damage you on every frame or something like that?
Oh,
They're not
geez.
friendly.
So imagine like Mario Sunshine Corona Mountain. You know how like the spikes, how you can take anywhere from like 1 to like all of your, like 1 hit to like all of your health gone just from like interacting with the spikes for like half a second?
Oh gosh, don't remind me.
That's kind of what this is. Electrified enemies weren't really coded well, and the worst part is there's a number of them we have to fight.
There's a boss later that does it.
That's brutal.
And this is the reason why we have to get the Shard Reaper, is because our best weapon otherwise is electric, and if Pokemon has taught you anything, electric types typically have Volt Absorb.
Ooh, actually, I forgot about that. How have I not done that until now?
How have you not done what?
Swap the Shard Reaper and the Groovatron.
Oh. Oh yeah, this has a different muscle memory than what we're used to in terms of menuing. Alright, so now next we have coordinates to the Nundak Asteroid Ring, which it's just the next level in our run, but we actually will take a slight detour for Groovatrons here, if I'm not mistaken.
I actually saved them by making Crusher dance and leaving the arena. So I don't actually have to get Groovatrons.
So I hope you enjoyed the glitched wall bounce that you saw on Cortog and on Mukau.
We have another one.
Because we have another one, and when we say some of the surfaces you get these off of don't make sense, this is a Nundak call-out post.
Nice, first try.
Because just look at this. Like, just look at this. We're trying to aim for like the face of the rock, but then like we just get the wall jump off of a completely different spot. And yeah, Kill, if you want to like show your controller up just to show like just how easy doing this is, it ends up actually being like a pretty simple trick that like if you just know what surfaces to jump off of, give it a try yourself.
You're just pressing R and that's it.
I'm holding X and pressing fire. That's all I'm doing.
That sounds pretty easy to me.
Yep.
So while we're here, there is actually one thing that we do need to do. Normally there's an item in here we skip called the Geolaser, and the Geolaser, funny enough, was part of Insomniac's, like, not even Insomniac, but Sony's big old thing to push the 6-axis controller back in the day. Thankfully this game actually lets you turn off 6-axis for everything but the tornado launcher.
Best weapon, by the way.
Normally, the geolaser is not required in any speedrun because any geolaser surfaces that we normally go through are just skipped completely. However, in 100%, we have to grab the geolaser because there is exactly one skill point in one level to one gold bolt that requires the geolaser for the skill point to trigger.
Yeah.
I made sure to mention the geolaser as many times as I could because this is a very easy thing to forget if you're going on autopilot.
Oh, as soon as you mentioned it, I was like, I know what he's doing. Funny, funny.
Sorry if I seemed rude back at the station.
I only said geolaser like 8 times in the past paragraph.
Piece of
But
candy.
yeah, that's Nundak. We might be coming back.
Maybe.
Possibly.
I don't know what would give you
So
that idea.
We did forget some stuff though, so we will have to come back. And coming up next is Planet Ardolis. This is the fastest level in the game, but also the longest level in the game. But also not. What do you mean by that? Yes.
You got it.
Another wall bounce.
So, I'm being very coy about it. But, of course, given that the weapons are like the basis of the tech in this game, obviously, if we're not doing something now, that means we're getting something later to help traverse the level easier. So, in some cases, it's just easier to complete the level now and come back with better items to traverse. So that's what we're doing here with Ardolis, because otherwise it's like, I forget how long the level is casually, but you basically go in a really big circle with a lot of downtime.
All right.
And we're done.
I'm going to have to pray here because we're doing
Yeah,
our favorite skip now.
I almost said it.
All right, let's...
So we were tired of doing the auto-scroller before, so this time we're deciding to skip it. This is the one auto-scroller we mentioned before that we just will actually perform a skip for. And like the abbreviated name says, doing this trick, to describe it, abbreviate the name of auto-scroller skip, and there you go.
All you need to know is that it's semi-frame perfect.
Oh.
It's a frame-perfect pause that you're trying to get in between files that is not consistent.
Yeah, that sounds
Like-
pretty bad to me.
I believe Tarna did actually take their turbo controller to this and still wasn't able to consistently get the pause.
Oh,
Sometimes you
geez.
just can't.
So how long is this auto scroll otherwise?
Like 7 minutes.
5.5
Oh,
minutes.
yeah.
Alright,
7 minutes
that's
is
definitely
the next
worth
one.
Otherwise, if we do auto scroller skip, the fastest recorded time for a Rackar, don't quote me on this, I want to say is 2 minutes 10 seconds.
Clank!
I've also never been the biggest fan of mashing. So I have like the worst
2
luck
minutes
with
5.
this.
Okay, so this is like the speedrun version of like the monkey's paw story. Because auto-scroller skip was the holy grail of skips for this game.
I'm glad it didn't get
the-
first try, honestly.
To the point where
Oh, cool.
Killa, I believe, put up a $50 bounty or something like that to whoever
Oops.
could find it. And it was a case of be careful what you wish for. So now that we're in between files, we're saving a file. Equipping the grind boots actually just will auto-save the game because it's updating Ratchet's state. And what this does is, because we have no file, because the menu we're in is in between files, it defaults the save location to the first planet in memory, which happens to be planet Kerwin.
Shout outs to JP console, by the way. This is how you hold your
True.
controller.
Do you need to learn how to play the game?
Now, Some of you might be
Oh,
asking,
that's
why am I
anymore.
loading Kerwan? Because that's where the save put me.
So what happens is the auto-scrollers don't let you leave them until you've beaten them at least once. So the reason why we had to do that entire run around
Serious?
is to leave the auto-scroller.
I got card.
Oh no, I just saw it.
At least we didn't crash. Out of anything that could have happened there, at least we didn't crash. I'll take being hit by a car.
That's just complete luck, right?
Yes, it's a cycle, but it's a very random cycle.
Damn.
Like sometimes there's a big old quirk bus that gets in your way right here. It's like a giant fuel tanker. That's really fun.
But basically, as you can tell, we have the shock ravager on Kerwin now when we didn't before. So the way that we go about doing this actually carries the game state to the file we made on Kerwin. So we have the ship now going into Cabalia that we didn't have, which spawns us right at the end. So now that we have the ship, we can actually go and select Riken coordinates because since we, left the auto-scroller, the game assumes it's complete. I am going to be quiet though, because Killa will need quiet time for this.
Yeah, I didn't hit the lava.
Ratchet, will you please take care of Cronk?
Oh no.
That's fine.
It's been a long time since they've seen real combat. Just try to look out for them, okay?
There is a missile skip that you can do here, given that we're at, cutscene, missile drop, etc. The reason why missile skips work in this game is Ratchet's. So the one on Kortog works because Ratchet just straight up walks out of the trigger, and it just never bothers to actually put him in it. For all the other ones, you have to get Ratchet in some sort of state that can't actually freefall. Because of this, this tends to get Ratchet stuck in a falling state.
I'm actually gonna...
Oh yeah, you should make a safety save before you scale the elevator. This game is very marathon safe. But what that does is, because Ratchet, for example, is in a falling state, he can't actually enter freefall. And
Didn't need
from
it.
there, the game just spawns him really high in the air, but you have total control. Reason why we're being very careful on this level is because of the way that we went through the level. The ship actually normally can be in one of two places, but because we never actually properly completed the combat section at the start, hitting the checkpoint at the spaceport makes... Oh, consumer bots if you didn't make them dance already.
Good call, good call. I'll do it on my return.
Because of this, though, the ship exists in two places at once, which isn't supposed to happen, and as a failsafe, which really isn't safe, the game just decides that because both ships are present, no ships are present.
You had a ship here,
So-
right? No, you didn't. Don't lie to me. You didn't have a ship here.
We have to take special care because if we do anything to refresh the state of the level, so like dying, revisiting the level,
Oh, I don't have enough full
those are the two
section.
big ones.
That's funny. I
Um,
don't think I've ever run out of bolts there before.
it happens to me every now and again. But yeah, because of that, we have to be very careful here because you have to get everything on Riken in one go. I know many players who have soft locked their casual files there because of that.
I've soft locked
Well,
a
it's
couple
no-
runs to that.
It's no longer soft lockable because you can do the method that we do for auto scroller skip to leave Riken. Funny enough. Now that we're on Sargasso, remember how we said before that like the bolt route kind of just like didn't matter? How many bolts do we need for the rest of this game? How about
yes?
Oh my goodness.
Just give me all those bolts.
All of them. Okay, sure.
So I
So what happens there is the Groovatron has a unique property. Okay, so there's like 3 different unique properties going on at once. The enemies in this game, actually in a lot of Ratchet and Clank games, are susceptible to the terrain themselves. So if they touch like hazardous terrain that would normally kill Ratchet, it auto kills them. The Groovatron has a very specific property where because an enemy is dancing, they can't actually perform their death animation. And if you happen to get the dino in such a way where they can't fall past the mud, but also while they're perpetually stuck in their death animation, the dino's repeatedly dying. And on each death of the dino, you get a Leviathan soul. So what happens is we're getting like basically, am I correct in saying like 6 to 10 souls per second?
yeah, I think we ended close to like 40 something there at the end of that. By the way, since this is a Ratchet game, here's
Obligatory
the
item
inaugural.
I am
Put an item on the ground and use it to clip.
Come on, relax. She's fine.
Yeah.
She's
Big
got
fan,
the
big fan.
robots protecting her.
Even though this game's a lot more chill and like a little bit slower paced compared to other Ratchet games, it still has the old Ratchet and Clank tradition where commentating this at a marathon is still information overload
Yeah.
because you're constantly doing something speedrun related.
Honestly, I'd rather
normally
have
kills
that
you.
than, like, not enough cool things, you know?
Shouldn't have lived that. I'll take it.
No, that's actually consistent now
Oh, is it because of the act tuning?
because of yes. So that's something we should talk about. You know how I said Leviathan Skip had a lot of other effects on the run that we would get into later? Another thing that we can talk about in this game is act tuning.
I'm playing that
When this
safe.
is over, we should probably
Don't you
update
reload
the
from here,
object
actually, Killa?
You may have fried a
Because you get
safety
this from the hyper.
Oh, you know? You're right.
Well, you're already over here.
Too late. I've already reloaded. But you're right, and I totally autopilot AGB there.
So certain things that kind of happen with this game. This game, the series actually has, on top of some games having an actual difficulty select, there's also an adaptive difficulty in there that the devs themselves have called act tuning. Where when you're in a specific, like when you're in a level, or like sometimes it's just global on the file, the game kind of scales with how you're doing. Like if you're dying a lot, for example, then the game will make it to where you take less damage, or like your weapons do more damage, but not in such a way where you're going to like easily notice it. In Tools of Destruction, the act tuning in this game, in terms of like how the difficulty scales, is... Oh yeah, thank you for remembering Robocops, because I was in the middle of an explanation when you were doing that. But a huge factor in it is the number of enemies killed. And it just so happens that like bosses tend to also be a big part of that. And because of that, skipping a boss in the Leviathan has meant that like, for example, on Kortog, the big old wheel turret normally before would take 5 bombs to kill. It only takes 4 now. Enemies on Sargasso normally should one-shot us because we have 12 health, but if you notice, you consistently live 1 hit now. It's things like that that get affected. And it's not just that in terms of like health and life and all that, but also your weapon damage is variable based on act tuning. That doesn't really matter too early in the game. You might kill an enemy in 1 less shot or something like that. Oh yeah, there's a skill point here, which is why we're coming back to try to do this multiple times.
Smart about that.
Pretty sure I got all the arena enemies, right?
I think you did. That's gonna be relevant in probably about like 2 to 3 minutes in terms of like weapon damage being variable. But needless to say, act tuning kind of affects a lot of things in this game. And it's funny because, like, we didn't originally expect the magnitude of change that happened with the act tuning of the run when Leviathan Skip was first implemented.
Yeah. It was very much a welcome surprise.
Oh yeah. Like, we'll talk about it next split just because it's going to be a good segue into it. We're just kind of playing the rest of this like any percent now. It's a bunch of tech you have seen already. Oh, we will show this though.
There you go. Nice sword then.
Remember what I was talking about before with enemies, terrain,
Bosses,
all that?
terrain.
Yeah. That was outstanding work.
Oh, hold on. Oopsie. Come back, Zorthan. I'm not done with you yet.
Yeah, I forgot about that as well. I kind of AGB muscle memory there.
Now,
Luckily, this
we're
one
done with
is.
you.
Luckily, this one's actually a boss that you can refight.
That's good, at least.
And we have max Gravitron, so we don't need to worry about that.
Needless to say, if everybody doesn't dance now, then you just panic at the disco.
Yeah.
I'll give you that one. Good joke.
I'm gonna be real, it's not even original because it was in the Hundo route before. Basically, Panic at the Disco is what we would refer to it as when we don't know what enemy didn't dance. And you just are like freaking out, going back to every single level you can think of where you might have forgotten to make something dance. Oh yeah, we get the Pyro Blaster now, and this is gonna be our carry weapon for a bit in the run. We're not done talking about Dino Grind, funny enough.
I didn't upgrade the stuff. That should be fine. I can just upgrade it here.
Something I conveniently left out when we were talking about Dino Grind, about, like, you know, the dinos dying, the souls are being rewarded to you and everything. Something I forgot to mention, well, I say forgot, I deliberately left out because it wasn't relevant then. Enemy experience, or like weapon experience, health experience, any experience in this game is handed out on enemy death. So what do you think happens whenever you have an enemy that's repeatedly dying? If you think the answer is you're going to power level your weapons, then you'd be correct.
You're thinking like a speedrunner. Good job.
Heck yeah.
This is what we mean by like the bolt route and tools of destruction lasts for like 3 splits.
Yeah, no kidding on that one.
All right, reminder to myself to sell the souls. We want untold riches. Cool. We have 2.5 million bolts now.
Pretty much.
5 million. Okay.
It's like what, 8,000 per soul or something like that?
Yes, and NG it's 8,000 per soul. And NG plus
it's like 800,000.
Yeah, they scale it up tremendously in NG plus.
All right, welcome to the worst split in the game.
Yes.
Sorry to take a complete tone shift, but I feel very strongly about this split. This split sucks. There's 3 things you need to manage all at once. You can't die, and if you die, the entire, like, everything in the level is basically void. Or if you mess up one single thing, everything in the level is void.
So imagine a couple buses, but you have to destroy them all, and if you leave any of them, you have to find out where the last one is amongst the ruins.
Not only that, but you also have to destroy each bus in a very specific way.
That's a lot of buses.
One of them you can melt down as much as you want. Another, you can like take a machine gun to it. The third one, you must individually punch out the windows of.
That was
That is what
probably
you're
for
trying-
the best right there. Because that angle was bad. I was going to land on the rail.
That is what you're trying to do here. There's a skill point where you have to make a bunch of pirates dance and then kill them with turret. Rest in peace, pirate with turret.
Pirate
The
and
enemy
turret
that we
does
thought
not
was important
count.
for the route, but was completely irrelevant. There's another one where you have to break every single piece of icicle scenery in this level. No ands, if or buts about it. No grace window. Every single one. And those like little cauldrons that the pirates are sitting next to, basically like cooking their food in, you have to specifically whack them with your wrench. What this amounts to is
Micromanage
the
the
worst-
split.
but like think of it as like micromanagement, except said manager is breathing down your neck and you have to adhere to very specific commands that aren't even in like the rules of work.
Oh, okay, that was cool.
The silver lining in this, at least, is we knock out a lot of like enemies that need to dance just out of sheer consequence of doing the level. But I do not want to give this level any more credit than I have to. Yeah, you might be saying, why are you doing this now with the Pyroblaster when you get the Box Breaker in the next couple levels? Sweetie, I have some bad news for you. The reason why we're doing it now is because we're not coming back.
Creely is a one-stop shop of never coming back, and yeah. So you have to make sure everything is done now, otherwise, you know, you're gonna be crying with the fishes again. It's almost like Panic at the Disco, but instead you're outside in absolute zero with nothing else to do but try to find a way home.
All right, Shasta,
sounds
let me
way
put it
worse.
in Kirby terms for you.
for
Imagine
it.
you're trying to hit a mix, but every single option on there besides jet is ouch.
I completely understand now. Thank you for making it relate to me.
Such a good analogy.
That is Creely.
Oh, hey, we're gonna anime cancel now.
Oh yeah, now that
So,
we have the pirate, there is no pirate collection animation, so you can just use it to just basically on demand animation cancel any specific item that has like a collection cutscene. Yeah, I actually fully understand your decision of doing this like this.
Yep.
If you die at any point in the level, so we already have Modown Hoedown, but if you die at any point in the level, you forfeit the other 2 skill points.
That and there's Groovitrons in here, so I was like, okay. That's a lot of Groovitrons. Yeah.
Like, it is.
Yes, give me them
I
all.
would actually say it's an understatement to call this the worst level on the run. I can only think of one other split in the entire series that is worse than Creely. And fittingly enough, it's an ice level that you break icicles in, and all for one.
Similar but different then.
You were flying so close to the sun kill.
I know. But it's fun.
I recognize I lose a lot of time in this level in my attempts, but that's because, like,
Here goes our way across.
with the implementation of new Creely, I think I have lost the most runs to Creely out of anyone. So
Gotta
this
save the
level
time.
scares me.
Okay. Make sure we don't charge into that cauldron. If we've done everything correctly, we should know here soon, because a skill point should pop up for us.
Here's hoping.
Oh, okay. No, not it. Where did I miss it?
Oh, yeah. Case in point, not a single one can be missed.
It's probably at the beginning. That's honestly the risk is going to be just completing the level and hoping I don't die in Iris.
I'll be real. I'm fine with just pretending we've got it if you do die in Iris.
I won't tell anyone. Don't worry.
Arr.
Sorry. I couldn't resist.
To put it nicely, whatever runs don't die to auto-scroll or skip die to mid-game usually.
Yeah, mid-game is rough.
And the thing is like, mid-game in 100% is like the 30-minute mark to like the hour and 30-minute mark.
It's pretty much until after you beat the first playthrough. By the way, there's 2 playthroughs of this game. For us to properly get everything.
Perhaps I can repair it.
Us mentioning NG Plus kind of already gave it away, but yeah, there's 2 playthroughs to get everything in. One of the skill points, actually funny enough, is beat a second playthrough.
Oh, okay.
Don't worry, that second playthrough will be a lot quicker.
Yeah.
It only has, you know, a big grinding section in it.
That sounds pretty fast to me then.
Ideally, it's like a 16-minute split, but you know, for a whole grind.
We'll talk about that when we get there. That... Let's just say, you haven't seen the full of it. Oh, this makes me so nervous.
Okay.
Creely is always, like, specifically the Clank section in Creely is always, like, the one section. If you ever get too complacent with it,
Creely
the
will
game
not,
can and will kill you.
Creely will not be afraid to strike you down if you are too timid at it. Alright. We didn't die there, so we're going to take a look to see where I missed that icicle. I almost guarantee it's at the beginning here somewhere.
If a runner ever tells you that Creely is freely, they're lying.
Creely is not freely.
Now you might be saying, Torb, haven't you said that in runs? Well, I never said I was a truther.
Okay,
Yeah, so like, basically missing one little thing, for example, can cost you like,
back onto the ship.
no exaggeration to say sometimes like 2 or 3 minutes. Now you might be saying, all this sounds like really rough. Why do you guys run this category?
Because it's fun.
Despite this, being able to actually like close out a run, knowing all of the hoops you have to jump through, it actually ends up being a really satisfying run to do.
It's like
It's moments like this that'll make you just be like, oh my god, this is pain, but like,
it's like playing with a leaf blower.
yeah, sometimes you just suck up all the water in the ocean, and other times, oh, you said leaf blower.
How could playing with a leaf blower be fun? Where is this ice? Hello?
Rhino part, maybe?
Maybe. I was kind of careful there.
I'm kind of glad we made the estimate what we did, though, because, like...
Oh yeah, for stuff like
Yeah.
this where, you know, you miss an icicle.
And, like, sometimes it'll be like an icicle that looks like it should have broke, but didn't.
Like right there.
Ah, there it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's okay.
How fitting. We got the skill point about not liking cold, the fiery gun of death.
Yep.
I was like just trying to look for it the whole time too, and I thought you broke all.
Yeah, no, so
Dang.
that's the problem with not having the box breaker. Is even just cutting the pyro short once ruins it.
Like, and, like, just for clarity's sake there,
All the ones around it were
I
dead.
know I was saying, like, there was no lenience with that, but quite literally, you saw everything else we broke up to them was broken. We missed one piece, and the game was like, no. But we're out of the worst level in the game, and thank God we don't have to come back to Creely at all.
Yep. Freely is
That's
now
good.
what we call Dunzo.
Coming up next is good old Planet Wisseron, but while we're here, we have a few enemies we need to make dance, and
I want to remember to pick up the seared ahi.
Yeah. I was about to basically very exactly mention this because it is one that we both have a rough history with.
Yeah, I've forgotten it once.
I've forgotten it once as well.
So anyway, floors are a suggestion. These guys are perpetually dancing for some unknown reason. I didn't know that they would be stuck like that forever.
Just got a really good song stuck in their head. It's all good.
Oh,
You can't resist the call of the dance floor.
So yeah, that's pretty much all you're gonna see from the inside of the prison, even though the end of the planet literally is triggered by the bottom of the prison. But we've done everything else that we need to in there. We don't have anything else special that we have to do in there.
Oh, yeah, I guess we've never really talked about what the collectibles are that we're getting. There's the gold bolts, which are used to purchase skins. So, for example, in the middle of the run, we could play as Dan Johnson if we really wanted to. There's the Rhino parts, which,
Inmate number 2C.
as the name
Dan Johnson.
implies,
Hold on.
Porcelain, Flint.
Who is this?
as the name implies, you assemble all the parts and you can assemble the Rhino. The Rhino being the super weapon of this game, well, of the series. Or, for any of the Japanese fellas, launcher number 8.
Honestly, my favorite is Snowman. So if we're changing anything to anything for the BitTorp, I'm changing it to Snowman after this.
Dan Johnson was the first thing that came to mind. I personally, I think I did runs with Mustachio.
Yep.
Who is
Ratchet.
Dan Johnson? I'm so confused.
Dan Johnson was actually someone from Insomniac Games. He was like one of like the head people there. He passed, I believe, in the development of this game.
Yeah.
Either that or around the time of Size Matters. I think it was around the time of Size Matters, and I think this was the next game that Insomniac themselves had worked on. Yeah, he passed between now and then, and from this point on, for a number of Ratchet games, Dan Johnson's basically been had a tribute to him in some way in these games.
Oh, that's cool, honestly. I never knew that.
In Quest for Booty, that game was just too short. There really just wasn't much of substance there. In this game and in Crack in Time, Dan Johnson's a playable skin. In Into the Nexus, and I believe in PS4, Dan Johnson actually just straight up has a statue in places.
All right.
Also, we're
And
getting...
it was even when he was alive too. The Insomniac Museum in Ratchet and Clank 2, I believe I want to say on Greatest Hits, it was actually referred to as Planet Dantopia.
That rules.
I will say as well, 3rd out of 4 auto-scrollers. This one has a very specific set of skill points that make it probably the hardest auto-scroller in the run.
Welcome to the worst level in the game. Now you might be saying, Tor, you already said that. I know.
This is probably the most punishing level in the game. I'll say that.
Oh, just saying too. We're a bit past the hour mark. If you want to take a break after this part.
Yeah. This is the auto-scroller I was talking about before. So
Perfect.
So, you know how we were talking about before how Ratchet and Clank love their pop culture references in this game? So, someone at Insomniac,
Point of origin to a remote ice moon.
Slag must be setting up an outpost there. Hold on.
they must have had a fixation with MC Hammer.
Parting gift.
Oh no.
You know where I'm going with this bit. We can't get hit.
It's okay. That's why we invented left corner strats.
And fittingly, the skill point is called Can't Touch This.
God dang it.
And this is a 7-minute auto-scroller.
Oh no. That's worse.
And
It's okay. You can get hit during the boss. Just not anything else.
That's good.
so
Is the boss a part
Yeah.
of 7-minute auto scroller, or is it after a 7-minute
It's
auto
at the
scroller?
end of the auto scroller.
So the skill point itself says get through the level proper without getting hit. There used to be a way you could cheese the skill point, but given that auto scroller skip exists, as well as other developments that cut out Verdigris and Boron 2 completely, that cut out Verdigris 2 and Boron 2 completely, we don't go to Verdigris again. Which means you have to do what we call the 3-in-1.
Yep.
There is one skill point where you can't use missiles at all the entire level, including the boss, which that one's not that bad. It's just slow.
That was close.
There's one where you have to hit 75% of enemy targets
Be a close one.
Easy.
or more,
Just shoot them all.
and the one, of course, where you can't get hit.
Clank, hop on that turret.
What used to happen in older versions of the 100% route was because you visited the level twice,
Worth it.
you could, for example, if you got hit on your first go round, you could just still do like the laser skill point and the aiming skill point, and then just come back around in NG plus and get like the don't get hit skill point. And
Well-
even then, if you got hit, then if you
So
die to the boss,
yeah.
it spawns you at the end, basically with full health, basically meaning you didn't get hit in the level proper because you're at the boss.
You haven't fired any missiles either because you're at the boss. But you have not destroyed 75% of the enemies. So therefore, you get 2 out of the 3.
But because we skip Verdigris anymore in NG plus, you have to get everything in one go. So it's not that this level is hard per se, because Can't Touch This is something that we can typically do on command in like AGB, where this level's still required to play all the way through. But it's more that
Having to do pew pew alongside it is
not even that, like that itself is something, but also the pressure of knowing that if you take a hit at any point in the level, whatever the current split time is, yeah, add that to your split time because you have to reload the level.
Yep. We're getting close to the end of the auto scroller though, so we should be almost in the clear. Once we get past these
Awesome.
3 battleships, we'll enter the boss, which is arguably where the most RNG in the auto scroller can happen. I've had more RNG, like bad luck, on the second boss,
Horizon.
but third boss can also say no tomorrow.
I typically have the worst luck with this boss.
Right.
Alright, I'm manifesting the dream luck for you.
So
I believe.
So the weak point of this boss is a giant blue ball that he spawns as he's firing another laser at us. Give it again, and it's another laser attack. Ideally, because he can only do that attack twice in a row, we want to see a mine trap rather than a missile in between. Like the rockets and missiles are just the slowest attack he can do, whereas there's a laser mine trap that like connects the 2 lasers and creates like a giant line on the screen. That's a way faster attack. You're about to see it right here. And the way you know that he's about to show his weak point is once that outer ring starts to speed up, he'll enter what we call third phase, and that's when he can start to do the fabled attack with his laser. Which
I'm glad you're the one commentating this because
yeah,
I feel like I would have stumbled on the commentary there a little bit.
It also makes sense, Torp, that this boss would give you trouble with the RNG because it's a 30% chance for him to do the weak attack. So knowing your luck with just random values.
I think my current AGB record, I think I don't get the weak spot once.
All right. And that is the end of the auto scroller, which means that now we can head to break if you want to, Shasta.
That sounds good to me. I'm enjoying this a lot, so thank you for doing it so far.
Yep.
And with that being said, we'll be back in a little bit, everybody. Stick around. Just taking a little wellness break here. In another like 5 minutes or so, we'll be back to this run. So stick around for the break. All right, welcome back, everybody, to Do All the Things. We're once again back with Ratchet and Clank Future Tools of Destruction 100% with Kill Lombax. Before we get back into the run, though, I'm gonna give you all a few announcements here. So, you know about GDQX? That'll be happening live from TwitchCon October 20th through 22nd. If you're interested in actually running for the events, use !GDQX in Twitch chat or go to gdqx.games.quick.com. Submit your runs before August 28th. Anyone accepted as a runner or backup will receive a TwitchCon badge and the opportunity to showcase their runs on the GDQ stage. Sounds pretty good to me, honestly. But yeah, also, if you want more live content like that, Games on Quick will also be at PAX West 2023, September 1st through 4th. If you're interested in watching live runs or try your hand at the Speedrun Gauntlet there, be sure to head over to the Speedrun stage at PAX West to find out more. I should try that gauntlet before we went to PAX East, I think, or was it some other events? Really cool, actually. Big fan. But yeah, that being said, let's get back to the run. Hello.
Yo. So,
Hello. I hope everyone else is hydrated.
I
I
know
do have some water here.
I know my Vulpixes are hydrated now, so.
They got that Gatorade.
Yeah.
Delicious. Got electrolytes.
So, new movement that we're about to unlock. Granted, new weapon. Ooh, actually, we just buy everything. I forgot.
Ratchet, we must get to the
And
Welcome to the GrumbleNet weapon shop.
never upgraded the incinerator, so we'll do that now.
Modify your
All right.
weapon.
So what Gil was saying though is we do have new movement.
Special. For every upgrade you purchase,
So imagine you're on a bus, except for this bus is flying, but the way that it flies is, imagine if it's like going up and down invisible hills,
Like I said, snowman.
but you can go wherever you want. That is what the Razor Claws do. It lets you carry speed into a mid-air jump.
Oh.
Not only that, because you can jump out of like the claw animation, if you're able to be really close to a surface where you can just do a ton of claws right after each other, you can actually use that to climb walls. This game actually ends up being very nice for exploration casually just because of that. And while we're here, oh yeah, this is like the fourth method of clipping we've shown. Where again, you wedge Ratchet in between something or wedge something into Ratchet, putting him between something. I was kidding when I said we had 4 methods of clipping.
I forgot how
Okay, now that
good
we're
the
stuck down here-
snowman sound is.
Now that we're here though, we're kind of stuck, so we have to die, and it brings us back to the start. There are a few things of note to get here though. Jacindu is where I would say a lot of the levels start to be where you can finally grab every single thing in one go. And it just be like, not really too far deviating from the main path. Like Creeley, for example, is something that they had to have intended to have been done in NG Plus with the box breaker. Jacindo's kind of at that point where you have like all of like the collectible items that carry between playthroughs. So from here on out, these are actually going to be nice and succinct levels because of that.
Yeah, this is where it starts to pick up. We start doing a lot more in each level in turn. Come on. Come on, leg. There we go.
We do have to be a little bit careful here. One thing that can influence whether or not you get like a boost out of the Razor Claws, or what we call a Heli Razor, is basically just lag in the game. Levels that tend to be a bit laggier means that your claws will just sometimes drop more often than not. One big skill that comes out of the Razor Claws because of that is lag manipulation. Being able to know like the ways to minimize it as much as you can.
Most of the time it's looking at the ground or looking into the sky.
Yeah, imagine that. Imagine a game where it's a shooter, but like you travel faster because you're looking at the ground.
Couldn't imagine it. I'm sure something like that does not exist. Surely.
Maybe.
Maybe a dot in the middle of the screen for good measure as well.
Ooh.
That sounds like that'd be good for helping with aiming.
Possibly.
I mean, I could just put some tape on my monitor. Will that work?
I think I unironically did that back in the day when I was like really into Call of Duty in high school for quickscope and stuff.
Oh.
I literally put like a little piece
I
of
know
tape
for
in
a
the middle.
fact I did it because I used to do. At one point when I couldn't decide on what game I wanted to run, one of the games I did try was GoldenEye. So I did actually. I was one of those that used the dot.
Oh no, I love it.
So right now, we gotta remember to make this boss dance. It's one of those bosses that like kind of just shows up once, and if they die without us being able to make it dance, then hey, everybody dance now is completely forfeit the rest of this playthrough.
Yeah.
Runs have been lost to that.
I thought that missile was going to hit me. Not going to lie.
Don't worry, because of the act tuning, you actually live glitch missile anymore. So what we were talking about before with variable weapon damage,
It's just not that great.
a big dynamic of runs used to be that of good pyro versus bad pyro. Because of the act tuning from Leviathan Skip, from my own personal experience, it's went from good pyro versus bad pyro to good pyro versus god pyro. Killa's had anywhere on the spectrum from like good pyro, god pyro, and then god awful pyro.
Ooh, wait, hold on. New weapon. Almost forgot about it.
Fine,
Oh no.
but I'm not waiting around.
Alright.
The amount
You
of
have
times.
6 guns, now salute.
Yeah. I always kill that guy first just to be careful.
So you might be saying, what are we doing here with the pirate? Well, we're saluting, of course. We gotta say hi to the pirates.
Yeah. Gotta
See,
respect
we're
them a
so
little
skilled
bit.
at saying hello.
You're so good at that.
Oops. I grabbed it. I grabbed the thing.
Alright. Now that we're here, we actually have an interesting thing that can come out of like the Razor Claws. You can actually preserve your momentum with the Razor Claws as well. And gravity ramps basically let you choose the angle you want. So long as like the way you're going breaks free of it. So because of that, we're able to just fly up here to Captain Slag. Now you might be saying, where are the bolts? We'll get to that in a moment. It's just more pressing that we kill Captain Slag first, just because, like, you know, end of the level, we need to get coordinates for the next one. That whole business.
By the way, this enemy is electrified.
Try using another weapon.
You heard him, you mangy rascal! Get the gun!
So yeah, if at any point I touch Slag, death. So you gotta play it kind of, you know, really tight. You can't be anywhere close to him, but that's where the incinerator does the most damage, is right next to him.
So, the best way I can describe Slag is, imagine a Eware from, like, Pokemon Sun and Moon. You know how, like, if it hugs you, it, like, snaps your back according to its Pokedex entry? Imagine that with Captain Slag. We don't want to be hugged.
Download the coordinates to the Cragmite homeworld.
Alright, we're gonna see if I
now
can
that we're
get
here-
this.
Okay, tell him to
We have the treasure mapper. Ooh, are you doing the new animation cancel?
Yes.
Nice. There's unique ways you can cancel the animations for Gobolts beyond just the pirate. I actually wasn't. I kind of like spaced out for a moment when Killa was doing Visceron. So I don't know if they got the teleporter one.
We did.
You can also animation cancel by just loading the game. And by that, it just is more of the game saves the moment you collect the bolt, so you can use this to go back to the start. This loses 6 seconds to taking the teleporter, but it saves an infinite amount of stability in the run because it's like a 20% chance or something like that that the teleporter in that room just doesn't take you to a proper location and just crashes the game.
Do you guys like black screens where it, like, just doesn't let you do anything? That happens. We're just gonna go for a normal repour. I don't feel like going for the skip. Mainly
Yeah,
because
so
it doesn't
imagine-
save as much.
Imagine, like, to describe how that teleporter works, imagine you're on a bus and the bus takes a wrong turn and then goes into a tunnel
We need to recover the
Oh, no.
engineer.
and then breaks down.
Oh no!
Hope your friend wasn't dim-witted enough to watch.
Except for this tunnel is like 8 miles long and you're stuck in the middle of the tunnel and can't do anything.
Imagine that tunnel
Very
also being in
long
the
tunnel.
middle of the desert.
The channels. If we find
Ah,
And the issue is,
originator.
that tunnel is also blocked on both ends, so even if you could do something, you can't do anything.
that sounds pretty bad right there.
Yeah, that's why we just load the game.
Yeah, it only
Fair,
loses 6
understandable.
seconds to taking the teleporter, but like, again, it saves you so much stress.
Nice. Was worried about
Yeah, now that I have
lag.
the Razor Claws, this is actually, if you have an open space that you can get like the height
Ouch.
variance to maintain a Heli Razor, it's actually the fastest form of movement in the game. Now that we're here, there's these Fragmite Warriors that are going to be showing up. We do probably need to make some of them dance as well.
You know, that's a good point.
These enemies are kind of annoying. If you hit them, they will like kind of like run away on each hit, unless you can overwhelm them with burst damage in one go. However, the Transmorphers are a device that you can get that, you know, it's not a Ratchet and Clank game if you don't have some sort of morph weapon.
We're gonna need
And
some
that's
group
the
runs here
obligatory
soon.
morph weapon of this game. Turns enemies into cute little penguins with top hats.
Aw.
So, I know what it looks like. No, they're not harmed.
No penguins are harmed in the making of this speedrun.
Thank goodness.
The one that was had it coming.
We don't talk
That's
about
not even
him.
the right game. That's not even the right game. That was a Rack 2 one.
All right, so
Oh, yeah.
we just bought armor. You can't see it because I'm a snowman.
Ratchet, you should probably.
So, imagine a bus had a changing booth, and like you're in
Go
that
on.
changing booth, but you're also really self-conscious about it because you're on a bus. So you just get it done as
Oh.
fast as you can and just get it over with.
I'm so glad you're laying things to me in my bus driving habit here. Or else
Twerp.
All right.
I couldn't relate to this one at all.
You forgot to do report early, didn't you?
Yeah, I did.
Or
Oh no.
all right, we have a backup file for this.
Yeah. We're just gonna load this. This run was gonna be invalid anyway, but I just pulled up my splits because I was like, I need to remember what's at the end of any percent. I hope that this file actually has stuff, because it probably doesn't.
Oh no.
Yeah, I think this is a post-igliac file. It wants me to go to Repor. So
I think you might have.
yeah, I might have done goofed.
Do you have a spare file that hasn't fought Captain Slag yet?
I
Because you
have
could
these
just
just
report early.
I have these just indues.
Yeah, I think what you can do is you can just set up a report early one instead.
Yeah. I hope that these just indues aren't like fully complete. Part of me knew I was gonna forget, but at the same point, like, that's just bad. Okay. At least the boss is defeated. This is why we make estimates, for a reason.
Oh yeah. We got time. It's all good.
This says Ooblik, but not Repor. So this should actually be fine.
Do you mind recapping what happened real fast?
So we have to make a save before completing Repor in
Ratchet,
total.
the situation is getting dire. I am sending a transmission to Krog's unit requesting
Reason being is it's a surprise tool that'll help us later.
Yeah.
If you remember how auto scroller skip worked, where we could use it to manipulate coordinates and stuff, it's used later in the run,
So yeah, we're gonna see this again, and we're also gonna do a bit of Repor again, and then make sure we make a proper save. We need this just for the coordinates, so technically we're not doing anything else. We are technically doing stuff outside the run, but it's for coordinates' sake and not for completion's sake. So we're still going to be able to get everything, but we had to use an outside file for it. So like, we'll go back to the file that we had that got the Igliac.
here on Do All the Things, we were so committed to it. We're going above and beyond. We're doing more than all the things.
We're doing the extra things.
I love it.
Oh, we got the
doing
zoning
100%.
clips.
We're doing like 105%, 110%.
all the things.
All of the things.
We even got like the rare thing where they just say the complete wrong line for no good reason.
So yeah,
That's a new line there. That's all of it. That's all the lines.
Zoni aren't supposed to be anywhere on this planet. Yet, as you're fighting Slag, there's a chance that they'll just be like, "Yeah, we're here to guide you."
I don't know, if they gave me a trophy in Persona 5 for hearing all of Futaba's lines, surely we get like something for hearing all of the lines in this game, right?
Surely, yeah. Only makes sense.
I think this was actually a bad pyro on this file too.
Oh my god, yeah, that is like such a low number.
Ratchet, I can download the coordinates to the Cragmite.
We can usually tell how good or bad a pyro is just based on remaining ammo counts.
Tell him to meet us outside the planet's stratosphere. Come on, we need to get back to Aphelion.
Scared me for a second.
I thought yeah, that one can crash,
It's less likely.
but nowhere near as often.
All right. So essentially, what we're looking at doing to get this file set up for coordinates early. I'm just saying the name because obviously we had to go back and do it because it's important. We have to go back and kill those Kragmites that were at the end of the thing that I made dance before. We're just not going to worry about the bolts because the bolts and stuff on this file actually don't matter. What really matters is just getting to the end and getting the... it happened again. It's the second time that did that.
But yeah, we can talk about coordinates early right now just because, like...
because we can't really keep it a secret anymore.
So, a trick that we use later in the run is kind of similar to like how we have auto-scroller skip set up, where it kind of carries over certain things to other files. Specific cutscenes that give you coordinates, you can actually, from loading another file, bring the coordinates over to that file. So, there's 2 specific levels we do that for in 100% that will carry over coordinates for the Rakar Star Cluster. Well, technically for Raiken, but you know we have to do the auto-scroller before then. And coordinates for Igliak. That's the reason why we were saying before, like 2 of the auto-scrollers get cut out.
Yeah.
Stuff like Creeley gets cut out. Is it skips half the levels when we get into NG+.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make another save here. I'm going to make sure both of them have the proper coordinates. That way we have a backup file for the backup file. Then we're going to load up our actual file and continue the run.
All right. Now we can go back to doing all the things.
Heck yeah.
It's kind of sad. I should have had my splits open. That way I saw the little save thing that I had on there. But it's a good thing I pulled them up when I did.
So the reason why I didn't remember it is because I actually haven't really done attempts with Igliak early instead of Repo early.
Yeah.
So I was just like, oh yeah, Kill is going to do that on Ooblik. No.
No. And we're out of Gravitrons, so we're going to go grab some real quick. Because, you know, we have to make all the things dance, right?
There's a lot of all things that we need to do.
I like that. Big fan.
We also just got all the devices. So,
Ooh.
obviously, we just got the Horde. Where's...
See, even the game wants us to get all the things.
Do we not have Confuser gas on? Oh, we do. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12.
You know, that's so much more sensible than what I've been doing.
Except it's not working.
Oh. Uh-oh. You broke it.
Yeah.
You gotta show... So the
It
basis
was
of the skill
because
point,
they
we have
weren't
to show-
shooting me.
Yeah. We basically have to show how agile we are in terms of, like, dodging these enemies. Because, again, what is a skill point without skill? And points.
At that point, it's just...
Skill?
You know, like... I, the player, should be rewarded because I chose to buy one singular piece of ammo from a vendor.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Or dying on top of a bolt, and therefore skipping its cutscene.
Ooh.
Another really funny animation cancel. That's my favorite animation cancel in the game.
Yeah.
It's pretty good.
Because Ratchet just frickin' dies.
Come on. There
Only
we go.
thing that would sell it more for me is if he had, like, the Family Guy, like, the 2 arms behind the back pose.
Oh, God. That's a classic.
Alright.
So
These are the last of the Cragmites we have to make dance. And the penguins are dance too. Look at them, they're just vibing. How could you do that to them?
well, you see, Quirk's hiding in this closet, and he's terrified of penguins. So it had to do it to him.
Oh no.
Okay.
But they weren't harmed, you just moved them somewhere else.
Yeah. So first things first, we're gonna do Pokemon, then we're gonna do Ferris wheel, and then we're gonna do Alphabet
Yes,
City.
Pokemon. So, Insomniac was in good talks with Game Freak at the time. They're just like, hey, I see that you are using new Pokeballs that came out. I'm sitting here trying to make this joke, and then I realized that while Diamond and Pearl came out in 2006, the Netball was in Gen 3. So this joke is falling flat on its face.
It's alright, talk about
However,
buses.
Insomniac was such big fans of the netball design, and the Cragmites look like they'd be part water type. So, we kind of have to catch them all.
Hey, look, I caught him.
Hey.
I caught him by wrenching him and making him fall in a pit.
That's a weird way to
that's
catch
why.
them all, and that's also a really weird definition of all, but
Yeah.
okay.
Then I said Ferris wheel. Yeah, Ferris wheel.
Yeah, I catch him one, really?
Yeah.
But it seems
So-
like to me.
The reason why that skill point works the way that it does is that's the only one of like the really burly Cragmites on a revisit. That's just the only one in the level. So in that sense, you have got them all. One is all in that case.
Yeah, that Cragmite was actually a legendary. Who knew?
Ooh.
I mean, Tachyon, Terrakion, close enough.
I was thinking Terrakion too, actually. That's what I like it to me.
So here we gotta actually ride a Ferris wheel 5 times in a row. We're gonna get a little bit sick.
So imagine like a bus going through a toll booth, but like oh my god, I didn't even notice that didn't even look like you hit the trigger 5 times.
Yeah.
But like
Do we have Groovy
this bus driver just really wants to make the toll booth money, so they keep pulling forward and backward into
Yeah,
the
we
toll
do.
booth just to try to like increment up like the I almost said Sun Pass. Well, oh no, I mentioned Florida.
Well, go ahead and take me down to the Alphabet City tour.
Where the rocks are gray and the bolts are pretty?
You know, it's a lot better than what I would have done with it, so, it's better than nothing. Alright, can we get this guy to... Oh. One of my guys didn't spawn. By the way, we skipped that animation by being on a swing shot.
Yeah, those are... So, how many different swing shot, or not even swing shot cancels, but animation cancels have we shown? We've shown pirate cancels, we've shown death cancels, zipline, teleporter,
I think we've shown them all now.
and now swing shot.
Yeah.
Yeah, because the last one I think is a swing shot cancel as well. We really are doing all the things because we're finding all the ways to cancel a bolt as well too.
Oh, cool. Dancing with the
heck
Stars
yeah.
just goes there.
No, there's one we're missing, but we're getting it in NG Plus.
Ooh. Can't wait.
Oh, yeah. I know what you're talking about. We actually do it twice in NG+. Okay, let's just go ahead and Hyper Strike you.
Always make my sprockets tingle.
All right.
Really don't like bugs, so we just Hyper Strike them to get rid of them.
That was
Yeah, that's just an industrial powered fly swatter. Also, there's some furry guy underneath the snow cloak. I don't know who that is.
I just now noticed that.
sorry.
You can't unsee it now.
What?
You made me
All
pay
right.
attention to it last second.
The snowman disappeared and Ratchet was just there.
That's so funny.
All right. Time for like
So coming up next,
fun split, aka micromanagement. The split 2. Who would have thought that both the pirate planets were micromanaged?
all right. So we're just kind of doing a. Now that we have the Viscopters and Razor Claws, you're going to see exactly why we saved getting these for later, because having these just makes navigating this level like 30 times easier.
And then
If I want to put it into YouTube thumbnail terms, this having a weapons here makes this level like 37.3 times easier.
So we couldn't get through that door before because we were locked inside. But luckily the doorkeeper on the other side was like, hey, you can't be here. And he brought us to the correct side of the door.
Yeah. I feel like he's doing his job well. He kept us out.
Yeah. Well, I wouldn't say kept.
He told us to get out, and we got out.
Yeah. And that's what we call keeping the peace.
Chat says, remember the Yardella save.
You know, that is a good idea. We should definitely do that.
You probably should.
I'm going to guess that that's a Yugi.
Yep.
Yeah.
Also, the Everybody Dance Now was confirmed. Yo, draw the thing for me, please.
No.
Why not?
Because I don't know how to draw the thing. I'm assuming you do that and then do that. Is that
Draw
what you
the
do?
Oh, wait, you can do it like that. Okay, close enough. Instead, it looks like a Mogosaurus. Basically,
I don't know. That was a pretty sus drawing, Torp. I don't know why you made me do it.
it's a running tradition for me whenever I run Hundo. Because of like how much you're like kind of curving it around, I just draw like a really quick crewmate while I'm doing it. It loses like 4 seconds, but like it's worth it to do every time.
Very worth. You gotta go for the swag.
All right. Let's see
All right.
how good of a combustor pistol we have. Ooh, that's a really good combustor pistol.
So remember how on Creeley, how I was mentioning like we had buses that we had to like destroy in certain ways? So imagine a bus where you can destroy it in whatever ways you want, but so long as you break the windows out with your fist, then whatever you do otherwise is fine. That's what this is we have to kill specifically the guys with the guns. I forget their names.
Corsairs.
Corsair. How did I forget this? I literally have Corsair RAM sticks on my PC.
Yo, me too. Let's go.
You have to kill the Corsairs with your pistol. Again, another reason why we put the level
we're-
off, just so we could get a V5.
We're gonna have to visit the radio show because we had a health upgrade kill the guy above us.
Electrified. We need to keep a safe distance.
This skill point surprisingly has wiggle room in that you don't have to kill everything with the combustor. It's more that you have like a grace of like 1 or 2. Still not great, but better than what we're used to. Ooh, are you getting the epic zipline?
Oh. Giving myself a mini heart attack is what I'm doing.
But yeah, we have to kill the Corsair guys. We have to get the killing blow with the pistol.
And the fact
How we
that
get the enemies down to that range doesn't matter. We just have to kill them with the pistol. So this level ends up being extra micromanagement in that kind of knowing your health ranges.
come on. All right, well,
Oh no.
we can get some ammo while we're down here waiting on the elevator.
I believe this is the second longest split in the run.
Sounds about right. I can't see anything else that would be longer.
Yeah, it's a lot of this where you have to make sure you kill the Corsairs with exactly the... You know the drill. I've already said it like 5 times now.
So, pirate with pistol, bad. Shoot pirate with pistol.
Yeah, you have to fight fire with fire, but not literally because...
No, we already got that skill point.
That would void the skill point, and you already got it on a different level. So instead, you have to give them a taste of your own medicine. Who would have thought? We're actually jumping and shooting in the jump and shoot game.
I'm hoping that, you know, the health upgrade didn't void the warranty on this skill point. Because that'd be really scary if it did.
If there's one thing I know, is I know so many people were looking out for me with my extended warranty. So much so they felt the need to call me about it every day.
Yeah. You gotta get that extended warranty on your car, though.
You really gotta.
Wait, I just thought about it.
Ratchet, come in. We're waiting for you.
What is a bus but an extended car? So if you get a warranty on a bus, then is that not an extended warranty?
It's a warranty
On a
for
car?
extended vehicle.
It's a warranty for an extended car, not a car that's extended. Okay.
Okay. I'm surprised that it was actually lenient enough to give that to me. It did not have to.
Alright. So we have to land on this island for a very specific reason. What item is it here? The armor magnetizer?
Yeah.
It's very shy, and like it will only listen to us if we pass their specific trials. And we have to go stand on the island to start the trials. One is the trial of the lamp. Next is the trial of the fence, and then the trial of the watchtower.
Yeah. You can't forget the trial of the capture, though, where you have to identify all the buses. Sorry, you can't do
And
this
see-
one because it's preemptive. I wanted to.
And now that we have braved those trials, we get our prize. We get our shiny pirate's gold. But that's not all.
We
For
also,
being such a watchful eye, we get the armor magnetizer. It makes bolts attract to us. But you're saying bolts are already magnetizing to you. It makes us magnetize more. Otherwise, they would just be called armor magnetize, not armor magnetizer. Does this mean if we get it in NG Plus, it's the armor magnetizest?
hard to say. Now we do Techigon, okay.
Alright, so this is the last missile skip, and I actually need to be silent for this.
I'm surprised that gave that to me. I was very slow.
We actually canceled the falling, like the state of the free-fall with the hyper shot. This is actually the funniest one because Ratchet just comes in at a skewed angle instead. I think this is like the best possible angle.
This is one of the best. But essentially, imagine a tilted bus, and whenever the cutscene loads, the tilted bus actually gives Ratchet that angle. And so you take that angle and it try to fly away with it.
I was just
I
going
like
to talk
so
about
much-
the Fortnite battle bus.
No.
My homie was like going up a little bit, and Ratchet thanked the bus driver on the way down.
You gotta thank your bus drivers.
Okay, so this is the final boss. One important thing to note.
I think you broke him.
He might be a little bit blind right now. He actually can't see us.
To be fair, I think he's waiting on Ratchet to show up.
Yeah, I think he's hyper fixated on like the Visicopter I threw at the end of Ardolus. Not entirely too sure why. It's kind of weird that he was looking into my past, almost as if it was inside.
Well, his past was inside. Again, we should probably stop being so coy about it. This game, on top of all the ways to fly around and make you feel like a god, you literally are a god now in that there is a god mode glitch. If you are able to refresh the state of a level in a way that does not destroy a Visicopter, it's very specific on why I'm wording it like that, but the three big ways are pushing the pirate off of a cliff, reloading your file with the Visicopter out, or infinite falling and the game voiding you out as a softlock prevention measure with a Visicopter out. Those are all three ways that don't properly destroy the Visicopter, but because of that, enemies can't target Ratchet, nor can Ratchet take damage while a Visicopter is active, and the game thinks a Visicopter is active. So enemies just do not aggro Ratchet, and Ratchet does not take damage.
My favorite part about it is that it carries through files.
It lasts until a Visicopter is actually like fired and properly destroyed.
Or you reset the game.
I mean, yeah, that too, but like, that destroys everything in the game.
True. You know, destroy the cache.
Yeah.
All right.
I could make a joke about destroying cache, but that's depressing social commentary aside.
Oh. Never
All right,
destroy the cache.
we're on Kabalia. We're moving around differently in the cutscene. We're going a different way this time.
Oh boy, a wall. Love walls.
If going through Kabalia before was just like taking a bus and going along the route, this is like, instead of taking the bus stop, you instead hop on your bike and go backwards to your destination. You thought I was done with the bus jokes? You aren't ready for the bike jokes.
I hope you're never done with them.
That is a very intimidating rock.
Man.
Oh, there you go. He had to heat up his bath. He does not like... He's just like me for real. He doesn't like a hot bath.
But his water's boiling. You can see the bubbles coming off of it.
Yo, shout out cold showers, by the way. Those actually are like very refreshing to just like get energy from. Oh yeah, this is the cutscene that we skipped before. So what's this then? Is this Leviathan skip?
I mean, kind of, technically, yeah.
Attention, citizens of Kabalia. The Imperial Defense
All
Force
right.
reports
Now that we're in NG Plus, though, there's a few things that happen now. We're able to buy what are called. Oh wait, no, they're not gold weapons in this. They're Omega weapons,
Oh my gosh.
which are
You are trespassing on Imperial property.
You've been watching a lot of
Basically,
Rack 1
it's
recently?
it's a separate upgrade bar for your weapons where they can level up past. Okay, this is gonna be the silliest way to describe it, but you know how like in something like Fire Emblem Heroes, where it's like you have like say a 5-star hero, and then like you can ascend them to a 6-star. I might be thinking, I don't know. I don't play any of those, so I don't know exactly what the analogy is here I'm trying to say, but basically imagine you're ascending these weapons from like a 5-star to a 6-star or higher. That's basically what the Omega weapons are, and the enemies and everything scale to that in NG+. It's supposed to be like a harder playthrough, but also a much more rewarding playthrough. That doesn't really affect us too much. It's just like, yeah, we're gonna die quicker. But what is going to be interesting with this is a few things have opened up to us now. For example, we can buy the Omega weapons for ourselves. The Golden Groovatron is now a thing that you can get, where for the low cost of 2 million Raritanium, which, for context, we have probably about like 30k. You can buy an infinite Groovatron. However, we don't have the money for that.
So, unfortunately, we have to turn it down for now. We kind of had to complete Caballia like normal, though, just so we could get... Do we even need the Chillinator anymore?
No. We really just need to complete planets and get to our ship.
This is actually going to be another missile skip, but in a different way.
Yeah, I definitely failed that. What? I didn't fail that. I'm surprised.
Alright. So, I like to imagine this as like, we're in an airplane, and we found the parachute and jumped out.
A pair of shoes?
No, a parakeet.
Oh.
Not a parakeet, a paramedic.
Okay, we're gonna reload because I hyperstriked too
no.
early.
Oh, you're doing the swag strat.
Yes.
I promise we're not done with the missile skips yet. These get more missiler and more skipper.
Sad because I got first try.
What we're trying to do here is... There's a skill point for going through all of Kortog. Oh, you might not be able to get it because you have the Razor Claws out.
No, I can.
So there's a skill point that you can get on Kortog for going through the level up to the Robo Wings. Basically, like, through most of the proper level. Only using your wrench.
Oh. That also doesn't work.
Wrench Ninja 1 and 2 were such big hits that they decided to make a sequel.
I probably should have scienced more to see if there's a way to get there and then it not matter because I technically haven't hit the first checkpoint yet.
What is an airplane? Is it some kind of bus? Look at that. You know what's going on.
All right, third try's the charm.
Question too, honestly.
I mean, it's really just a larger bus. If you think about it.
Larger bus that costs a few $100s to fly on.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not gonna lie, actually, finding flights for Pittsburgh for Pokemon stuff, I actually found like an $80 flight, and you know what? I'm looking forward to that.
Heck yeah, then let's go.
I'm gonna science live.
Ooh.
Oh no.
We're just gonna have to make sure that we don't have the Razor Claws out by the time we hit the end trigger. Okay, we should actually be high enough.
So, there was a strat found pretty recently that, again, uses a Hyperstrike proxy to get an insane amount of speed over to that platform that Killa is aiming for. That cutscene there is basically not our level end, but our end point for...
Alright. This doesn't work, then we're gonna have to do the old strat. Like my old strat. But again, this is why we have estimates. I don't know how many times I can say that.
It's all good.
To
We
be
got
fair,
time.
with a category like... Really, with any game's 100% category, though, there can just be a lot of variance. So it's actually really good that we have an estimate that was 20 minutes over record.
Now, I have a reason to believe that this won't work because we used the Hellraisers. But we don't know until we try.
I believe.
Oh my god, why did that work? You telling me we could have used the Razor Claws this whole time? The swag strats for nothing?
Wait, so you're telling me the glide of shame that's not really a glide of shame is actually a glide of shame?
Yes.
Oh no.
Oh. I could have just done the planet. I don't know how I feel about that. Yugi, weren't you supposed to be testing this? And JK, don't take that seriously. There are many times where you've tried to use the claws to get to the end, and it's just not counted. So that's why I like preemptively hyper striked, because I wanted to make sure that I hit the checkpoint without having the claws out. Because I think it takes even having the claws out as using that weapon.
I wouldn't be surprised, because I think that's actually how it works in Going Commando as well, with the other 2 wrench ninjas.
So I think the only reason that worked is because I hit the end trigger without having hit the beginning trigger at all. So I hit the end trigger with only the wrench, and then
you hit the beginning trigger with only the wrench.
Yeah.
And now that both triggers were met with only the wrench.
with no claws in between. By the way, we're back.
Oh, yeah.
We're back again.
Who needs bridges? So you might be asking, why are we going around to all of the light points?
Because it's faster.
Yes. It's not even that it's faster.
Ooh, okay.
It goes back to what we were talking about before. You're constantly doing something, and the answer to this one is skill point. Yet another skill point where they want you to do all the things. They want you to robo-wing off of every flight pad.
Speaking of flight pads,
this game is so conducive to this show, it was a natural fit.
Absolutely, it is.
I crashed
Did a lot of
landed
things
before
here.
I got it.
Oh no.
So you can cancel the animation there.
You bolt canceled the wings instead of wing canceling the bolt.
Yeah. Now, JK, we had to be in this room the entire time, but we were just here early, and I didn't think we could be here early. So, you know, haha.
Oh yeah. Speaking of all the things, we actually have all the Rhino parts now, and we've been around now.
Look
at all of the alls that got thinged.
The all's right there.
Here we
Look out,
go.
you're gonna crash. Ah. Yeah, that wall is kind of a suggestion.
Inner walls, I mean, you got to push through. Outer walls, they are really just a suggestion.
So, to describe that, actually, just think of that episode of Adventure Time where, it's the episode where they go and try to get, like, the Princess Flower, where they just cross their eyes really hard looking at the corner so that they could enter the Land of Death. This is the Land of Death because, all these enemies kill you in one hit.
Rip Godrak, by the way.
Oh yeah, side effect of God Ratchet is actually that enemies that have to show up by aggroing you actually can't aggro you. So you actually sometimes can't progress a level until you disable God Ratchet.
Shoutouts to those penguins that were just outside the window.
They're just chilling.
I mean, they were impeding progress.
Yeah.
All right. So we're going to be climbing to these ship parts a little bit differently. We have to restore Aphelion again. But we have a little bit more movement tech, so we can do it a little bit quicker.
Unfortunately, Ratchet crashed his bus since our last adventure.
No.
I like to think of this as like one of those like time paradox type of deals where it's like the hero has to go back in time. No, like what is it? They go back in time. What am I trying to say? It's making my head hurt actually thinking about this. Where it's like a hero is like from a specific time, but like their young self is in that time, so they have to send them back in time so they can grow into the hero that defends themselves from themselves.
Or no,
I'm just spoiling Jack too.
I think you're right. I think it's pretty much time paradox right there.
Like, I know Shasta just played Chrono Trigger, but like, come on.
Yeah.
Basically, Aphelion says something about how like the last thing she remembers is laying down suppressive fire over the court of Asmon. Well, we were just in the Court of Azimut, and we were in Aphelion, and she crashed. So I would like to believe that Ratchet's the one that crashed Aphelion. So then Ratchet's the one that fixes Aphelion, so Ratchet can crash Aphelion, so that Ratchet can fix it.
By the way, Swingflings.
Ratchet, the entrance to this raritanium mine is too small.
Love those.
And then while we're in here, we're still having to collect these because we do need a ship to do coordinates at varying amounts of time with.
All right, I should probably collect it as Clank and then just do that, huh? Well, actually, is it faster to do it with Clank? It's faster to Visiclip, right?
Yes, it is faster to Visiclip.
Screw it, we're doing it with Clank.
Clank glides really slow.
We like Clank. Losing time because
Clank hasn't really been earning his keep. It's called Ratchet and Clank for a reason.
Yeah. Oh. Come on, Clank, you can do this.
Oh my god, I just saw your message, Shasta.
I couldn't resist. I'm sorry.
So yeah, once we get the 6th piece, we can actually just kind of go and get those coordinates that we talked about earlier. Just why we had to make saves earlier.
So like, think of this as
It's going to come around
the
full
saves
bus.
we made before. The saves that we made before were like bus tickets. And what this is going to be is that those tickets that we've held on to, we're going to redeem them to the bus driver so that he can take us to those places.
How are we doing on that hour, by the way, Shasta?
I think we should probably take a break right about now, I'd say. I was about to suggest that in a second. That'd be a good idea.
Let me get
in that
these
case-
coordinates, and then we should be all good.
Sounds good to me.
From what it's sounding like, break on the moment we load Bastion. The second time. Okay, I realize I'm actually sitting here talking about busts and everything like that. That's just straight up what you do in Battle Network is the next place you need to go in a speedrun, you actually will grab the train pass for the next one while you're in the area you need to be in right now.
Nice.
So it's like you take the train to like the Marine Harbor, but then like you know you got to go to Okuden next, so you grab the Okuden pass while you're in the Marine Harbor before you even go do anything in the Marine Harbor.
That's not going to
I was a
work.
little too on the nose with that analogy.
So we're going to have to probably load that again. I don't think that's going to work. I should have done it a little bit further back and charged end. So we're going to do that one more time just for safety. Because this is why we have multiple saves that, should have been made beforehand. But this is the fun part of the run coming up. So if you're still around after the break, we have a lot more intact stuff and fun stuff to do still. So yeah, you'll see Ratchet's armor actually change here. In mid-screen. That's how we can get the coordinates to pop up in our inventory.
Basically, what's kind of happening is because we're doing the load, you're normally the load is a menu within the pause menu, but if you press the load button and the exit menu button at the same time, then you exit the menu while bringing up a menu.
Okay, wow.
So
our Dolus didn't take.
what?
I know, right?
That's the easy one.
I know.
What that does is you have the menu in an unpaused state, but also paused. So you can use that like at specific like trigger points to carry over those coordinates, because if you notice, it's starting to load your file, so it already has like say Snowman Ratchet here when you do that, and I believe that's actually how the coordinates get carried over, is because that's just you're in the trigger for that where it will give you the coordinates as you're bringing it into another file. So like kind of like it's like the trailer on a truck. See, we have variety with our jokes here. It's not always about
Okay,
buses.
there we go. All right, we can take our
We
break
just like
now.
modes of transportation. We definitely just like modes of transportation here, that's for sure. Yeah, sounds good. In that case, we'll take a little break. We'll be back in about 5 minutes. Everybody stick around for more Do All the Things. We'll finish off this round for the break. It's gonna be really cool. All right, welcome everybody back to Do All the Things, where once again we're doing all the things. And we'll be back in a second with more Ratchet & Clank Future Tools Destruction on 100%. But first, I have a few announcements. Do you know that Games Done Quick is hiring? They are. If you have experience with social media creation and want to help out for live events, be sure to go to gamesdonequick.com/jobs to apply. If you missed out on any of these Hotfix shows as well too, or any past events like Flame Fatales, which happened pretty recently, just last week, it was great. It was very good. Be sure to check out the VODs at youtube.com/gamesdonequick. And also, your subs, Prime Gaming subs, gift subs, and bits cheered on the GDQ Twitch channel help support Games Done Quick Hotfix, so please consider subscribing if you enjoy the daily speedrunning content. Any primers? Anyone? Give me one.
Yo.
But yeah, let's get back to the run. Hello. We're doing well, Killa.
Yep.
It's been fun so far.
So again, like as great as the commentary we've been doing so far, we kind of did just skip over coordinates early because we were going into break. So I do want to explain it a little bit more. Game wants us to go to Mukau because that's the next planet in progression. But because we were able to access those saves we made earlier, we were able to hit the end trigger of those saves and load Ratchet into the area and bring that over to our current save file. So we are actually able to enter Reckon 5 and Igliak completely super early than going to Mukau and doing all the arena stuff that we don't want to do. AKA another auto-scroller again. Speaking of which, we're going to go and do an auto-scroller.
It has to do with the unpause. Like, if you notice, we had a load that was like outside of the pause menu. Basically, what that was is we brought like our Ratchet on that file into that file for a moment as we loaded out, and kind of dragged the coordinate trigger with us. So, like, imagine if it was like we got on a bus, but the bus had a trailer, and the trailer's the coordinates.
So we heisted the trailer, is what Torp's saying.
I mean, I live in Florida. I've seen the like elusive pickup bus.
That sounds like it would be fun, but I also don't want to imagine a pickup bus.
It's exactly what you think it is.
Is it like one of those pickups with the extended beds that has like another roof over it?
So, I had to
it's-
Google it real fast. I see what it is now.
Yeah.
It's basically, from what I'm seeing here, it's basically just like a large pickup truck of a big bed in the back, but like there's like bars all around it. Make sure people don't fall out, of course, and like a roof over the whole thing. Little step in the back as well, people can get up really easily. I've never seen that before. It's a cool bus.
Yeah. Here at the Ratchet and Clank community, really just in Future Gang, we enjoy a tasteful amount of bus.
Let's see if I can destroy
very
the back
important.
bus before I can destroy the first bus.
Yeah, these Tears of the Kingdom builds are getting out of hand.
Oh man.
Oh my god.
Is this the arbitrary do your Tears of the Kingdom tax part of the run?
Is this actually where I go and buy Tears of the Kingdom just so I can make a bus?
I mean, yes.
It's a good game.
Granted, you should have it
You can
anyway.
make buses. It's true. You can make a bus fly in that game as well.
Hold on.
He
Not
put
me hopping on my
flamethrowers on your
PS5
bus.
to go look up bus driving simulator.
Yo.
Wait, that's just Desert Bus. What am I saying?
I mean, they made a
True,
Mario
you're right.
64 thing of that, right? Like, I'm sure there's a lot of stuff, just of everything. But Desert Bus is everywhere. You can't avoid the Desert Bus.
Yeah, we're kind of just like talking about whatever during this split because like you've seen the auto scrollers, you kind of know what we got to do during these.
Except
This
there's
tends to be like
a caveat to this one. There's an enemy we have to not kill.
true. Yeah, you also have to be a skilled pacifist. So we have some words kill things, we have some words don't kill things, we have some words make enemies dance. There are so many different ways you can show your skills in this game, and yet again, the skill points make it a point to show your skill in doing all things.
He's taking
Heck
out
yeah.
our harvesters, Captain.
How many times at this point have I title dropped this just because of how the skill points are our completion criteria in this game?
At least 2. Maybe 3.
Possibly 1.
I guess the other things that aren't necessarily tracked is health, and I guess raritanium upgrades on weapons because the upgrade all weapons skill point tracks only for level 10 on everything rather than full raritanium upgrades. But the raritanium upgrades maybe take a minute, and we're going to max out our health on accident. So like, in just doing what we have to do for the grind, we're kind of just gonna max out our health just in the process of it. It's not one of those things. It's unavoidable. It's inevitable. But we have to get through this first.
You know what I
guess
didn't
now-
do, Torb?
What'd you not do?
Didn't activate God Rack.
Oh yeah, good luck with that one then. So now we're fighting the second boss third. This fella's got a weak spot on his dome. And when he enters phase 3, the dome will open up after like specific attacks and it'll fire out rings. So if you played Sly 1, here's your obligatory reference to that series.
Nice RNG there.
Like, see, you're in like a jetpack type of thing, and like you're dodging the rings. The rings can sometimes have really weird hitboxes and still hurt you anyway. Thing falls into lava whenever it's done. Like, it really is just Sly 1 right now. So yeah, we had Star Fox, we had Ratchet and Clank, we had Rhythm Heaven. Like, I don't know what to tell you. You kind of get the whole package in this.
What doesn't this game have, honestly?
Pineapples.
Not enough pluses.
Or durians.
Ooh. Very good.
There's no durian soccer.
Only one game has Durian Soccer, and it's the best game ever because of it.
Oh no. Oh, actually, I figured you're gonna probably take that just so you don't run the risk of getting missiled in the middle of the level.
I'm also gonna safety save because, you know, soft lock haven.
Yeah. Just when you thought we were done, it's like the McRib. It keeps coming back, no matter how many times it hurts us.
But that's an actual good thing, though, Torp. Oh, I missed the proxy. Sad.
Oh yeah, this game does have Stunderwear. That was a huge seller on Umbrus. Actually, yeah, why do we start the game with 0 bolts when Ratchet is already established as a venture capitalist in this game?
Alerting Drawfit Detention Squad.
All right. So we're on a timer now. Essentially, we have to get to the end of the planet in X amount of time, otherwise the bus blows up.
Oh no.
Okay, so like,
It's like the movie
think of that
Speed.
mission. Think of that mission from F-Zero GX, where like Captain Falcon's bus can't go below a certain speed. If he does, he dies instantly.
I was thinking like the movie Speed of Keanu Reeves, but that works too.
Oh yeah,
It's literally a bus in that one. That's like the plot.
Not me being a fake bus enthusiast, because the first thing that came to mind was F-Zero and not the literal bus movie. Hey, speaking
No.
of bus,
I ran into a bus there.
You can say that was a bust.
It was
sorry.
a bust. Ooh, okay. I got really scared there because I lost some height, but we're good. We just have to get enough height now to trigger the skill points because they're locked as a falling thing.
We've lived
Okay,
strong.
cool. We are also untouchable.
Nice.
That's.
But we touched
Rhino.
the bus.
Rhino. Yo! I didn't get the Rhino. Cool. We're going to Sargasso.
I mean, I was gonna say, yeah, you can just get it on Sargasso anyway, because Smuggler follows you over there as well.
Yeah.
So, I'd like to imagine, you ever played, like, I don't know if it was in all the Tony Hawk's Pro Skater games. I grew up on Pro Skater 4, and there was a mission there where you had to, like, while on your skateboard, hitch onto the back of, like, a car that was being stolen. I'd like to think the Smuggler did that to Ratchet's ship, and that's why you just run right back into him immediately.
All right, so we're going to do a little bit of, like, what we did on Creeley earlier. Of we're getting the weapon, and then we're ditching. Because we were supposed to get the Rhino on Riken, but I didn't talk to Smuggler on Riken. We're going to go to Igliak.
How are you getting out of Riken?
I didn't go to Riken. Went to Igliak.
Wait, did you get the consumers not always right though?
Yeah, no?
All right, so we get a little bit of a detour. All right, I hope you enjoyed the method of doing auto-scroller skip because we're gonna have to do it again. Except for we're on Igliak now because the Predator launcher.
I'm just going to
So
do
you
this
saw
now.
how broken the Dino grind is for experience and stuff, right? Well, you see, the Predator launcher is special in that it sucks.
Yeah. It's the one
For some
weapon
reason,
that doesn't.
it's the
level up.
only weapon you can't level up off of the dinos. Unless it's V5 and the effects from the V5 are hitting it. Why? Good question. I wish I knew the answer to it. Instead, we have to grind these up on regular old enemies. However, we're in challenge mode, so we get boosted experience anyway, so it's not that bad. There is an alternative strat that you can do here where the big, like, robot mechs with the tentacle legs are called enforcers. There's one here that you could kill, that if you kill it with the Predator launcher, instantly levels it up to 5, no questions asked.
You know, I could just reload
However-
the Riken save I had.
Oh, true, you do have a Riken save, huh?
Either way, we're losing time. We're just gonna revisit after. Like a true Hondo run, you learn to forget all the things that you have to do.
Yeah. This, you actually have to be, like, pretty mentally dialed in for most of the run in terms of, like, being aware of, like, what you have to do on each split. You have to full brain each run.
Yeah.
But yeah, as you can tell, we're already at the second to last level in the game because we stored the coordinates. Pretty cool, I'd say. Needless to say, this I think saved upwards of at least 30 minutes over the old 100% records.
Yep.
That's huge.
Because Coordinates early cuts out 2 auto-scrollers, which the 2 in question that were being skipped were like 12
13.
minutes total of that already.
Yeah.
That's assuming good RNG as well. You cut out Sargasso, which I believe is like a. You don't cut out Sargasso. You cut out
Jacindu.
You cut out Mookout and Mookout 2, which together are like about 5 minutes. You cut out Jacindu, which is about 3 minutes. You cut out now Oobleck, which is about 2 minutes. It kind of just all added up, and it was actually like a really cool time when that happened because me and Killer were the ones running 100% at the time, and we basically gentlemaned to an agreement. Right when the stuff was found, we both gentlemaned to not touch the game until we were both available on a given day to race this category, and the winner would get record.
So far, it's been taken away from both of us.
Yeah, shoutouts to, you've been seeing him around in the chat, 24/7 Yu-Gi-Oh! He's actually been like on a tear through the entire PS3 Ratchet games. He is one category short of sweeping the entire PS3 library of Ratchet games.
No kidding. What the heck? That's a ridiculous level of dominance right there, to say the least.
Yeah.
I'm the last vestige of that. The only category he hasn't taken is all gold bolts, which I hold by over a minute. But I do think that was an outlier run of mine because I quite literally call that the run of my life. So, we've actually had some pretty good competition among all three of us, all things considered, even though this game's not the most active.
Shoutouts to Robo Wings, by the way.
The best thruster pack. Wait, no, best thruster pack is the Hydro pack. Is this gonna work?
Yeah. Don't worry, Tor.
Oh, true.
I did my study hall practice.
You had your Wheaties this morning.
I did my homework.
I haven't fiddled with Igliak early as much as I should.
I don't have transmorphers. Okay, well.
I mean, can't you make him dance?
The transmorphers are the key to it all, Torp. I wasted them all on the
On Kortog.
Yeah. Should have left one.
Oh no.
It's okay, there's a device vendor over here. This is a good example, though, of like how if you do one specific thing, it can come back to haunt you on a later split. Like specifically, really much on tools, because it's just micromanaging everywhere.
Talking about tools and stuff. What kind of tools? Are they of destruction?
They can be.
Oh my, I just had a really deeply, not forgotten, but like, a very old memory just resurfaced, talking about buses and destruction. I just got to thinking of the Madden Challenge bus from, was it Burnout Revenge? That you could use in like the mode where it's like your goal is to just crash into as many things as you can.
There we go.
Imagine not having flight mode all times in a Ratchet and Clank speedrun. True, this game does not have the PDA. Not to be confused with PDA.
Alright, well, we're gonna go back to Riken because I did dumb and forgot the skill point.
Alright, so Killa's gotta lock himself on a bus for a moment. But fear not, even though this bus is heading straight into lava, what Killa did not tell you is that their middle name is Houdini.
Watch us escape the inescapable bus.
Ooh.
All right. Well, we're gonna buy everything real quick, and then we'll save it because we're good people.
So, the reason why this level messes up the way that it does is what I'd mentioned before, in that the ship exists in 2 places at once, so therefore it exists in no places at once. However, we can use the method of how we left the auto-scroller to actually leave a soft-locked Riken file. So it's more soft than it is locked.
This is also arguably the harder version of this trick because you have a much tighter load. Because you have a bunch of lag in auto scrollers, whereas in some planets you don't have nearly as much lag.
Funny enough, it was actually the introduction of auto-scroller skip that made this game technically more marathon safe. But like that's with like the biggest set of quotations around technically that I can think of.
So we got to do the frame perfect trick twice for you guys, which is always fun. In quotations.
Not gonna lie, y'all are making me want to run this game. Please do. We need more runners of this game.
It looks
Game's
really
fun.
sick. This feels like a run that I feel like more people should be running, honestly, from my experience watching it so far.
Oh yeah.
It's really cool.
So, I'm going to have.
Oh,
actually,
nice.
no, I can actually consider myself somewhat neutral in this because I've actually got a similar amount of hours spent in runs between both Tools of Destruction and Going Commando. But I think a lot of it has to do with, I think there's more nostalgia for like the original trilogy of Ratchet games than there are the other ones. And honestly, that's kind of understandable because that's just what more people grew up on. So, Future as a whole is kind of overshadowed by OG3. But I do think in more recent times, Future stocks have been going up.
Stonk.
Not to be confused with futures on the stock market.
All right. So anyway, we're gonna be on Kerwan for the 4th time.
Just don't get hit by a bus again.
Hopefully not. Oh, we don't have enough Veritanium.
For what?
I was gonna say we have to visit
Groove Tron.
Cobalia anyway. This is like, if we could, it would just be ideal to do it now.
I was that's why I was thinking you were going to do that after you...
Here's the thing, we would have had to visit
Did
Sargasso
Sargasso.
again anyway. I didn't think in the foresight of, hey, we're gonna have to cancel out of Riken by loading Kerwan. His past is no longer inside. All right. We did everything on Igliac, right?
Yes.
Okay, cool. Technically the 3rd last split in the game then. Fourth.
Which is also the longest split in the game.
Yep.
So you see how we have like a V5 combustor and a V5 pyroblaster, and you're wondering, we have to get everything to V10, and this is the longest split in the game. You're gonna think that we have to buckle in here for a long time, right?
Give or take 6 Dinos.
Good news is this bus is like, imagine if it had its own express lane through a city. You're in the express lane of experience. With NG Plus multipliers on experience, so the multiplier you're seeing there on the top right actually only multiplies bolts, but enemies just give out so much more base experience in New Game Plus that
it's not uncommon to just like be able to instantly level multiple weapons in seconds.
Jeez Louise. I'm just looking at the counter on the top right.
It's actually possible to get every single weapon up to version 5 off of one dino.
We're not going to because in my practice, I accidentally killed the dino with all the underleveled weapons.
And the thing is like...
So I'm curious how many souls we have. So we're just going to take a look real quick. We have 290 souls.
As long as you die before the dino like properly dies, then you respawn the dino because its soul didn't actually reach you yet, despite 290 of its souls reaching you.
So just for you people that love doing math, take 290 times it by 800,000. We have enough money to buy everything else in the game that we ever need to.
232.
Yes, I love having 232 million bolts.
A million, yeah. I was thinking 232 there. I was trying to do that math, and then trying to think of the exact amount of zeros. There we go. That's a lot to say, at least.
And then going to make sure not to have the nanoswarmers out while talking to the vendor. Because there's a notorious glitch that me and Torp like to call vacation vendor, where if you're charging at him with nanoswarmers, he just decides to, go on vacation, probably to Isle Delfino, and never come back.
Yeah,
but he also doesn't
goes
leave.
To Isle Delfino on vacation, and then he gets stuck in the goop.
He also doesn't leave a way out of the vendor, which is pretty rude.
And remember how I said that we were just gonna kind of accidentally hit max health? Yeah.
We're gonna do that. I'm playing this super safe. Then we're gonna end on Magnet.
And like the thing is this is actually like, it's an easy trick to do, but probably a hard trick to understand like the full inner workings of, because the factors that you have to keep in play is making sure the dino's in a spot where he can actually is touching the mud. The Groovatron timer, because if the Groovatron timer naturally expires, the dino will die. And the dino has their own health bar active as well. If the dino runs out of health, that also is considered dead.
So, I don't think we ever mentioned this either, which is kind of weird that I'm bringing it up now. The reason I'm pausing a lot is to cancel the weapon upgrade animation.
And the reason why sometimes you're seeing the weapon upgrade animation is because while we're dying, we can't pause.
Do we have any more?
We've actually gotten some posthumous upgrades as well, where say like the tornado launcher hits like level 10 as we're dying. As we respawn, it'll actually play the weapon upgrade cutscene then.
Speaking of tornado, I'll do that now. That seemed like it was a lot of them. What do I have left? That. Okay, yeah. Okay, yeah. That's good. 2 weapons.
So
awesome.
That was.
If we like to call,
if not,
if we call
safe.
Sargasso. Oh, sorry.
You good?
If we call Sargasso and like any percent or AGB as just dead dinos, this split gets called Dead Dinos Extreme, and I think you see why.
Yeah. A lot of dead dinos here.
So when we said that this run was animal safe earlier, we don't include dinosaurs, obviously, in that animal subcategory. it's kind of hard
To be fair, the dinosaurs went extinct.
Yeah, they're already gone. It's all good.
All right. This is the hardest weapon to kind of upgrade, though. I'm not getting any XP. Oh, there we go. It's probably for the best that I died there.
Oh yeah, the nanoswarmers have a weird property that for some reason you can only get experience on them if you're mashing fire as they're doing damage. And like, it's very specific. And you know, if I had a nickel for every weapon in this game that had very specific criteria for upgrading, I'd have 2 nickels, which isn't a lot, but it's weird that it's happened twice.
So ideally, what we want to see is we want to see VX, and then we just want to kill a dinosaur.
Yeah, we've upgraded all of our weapons now, so we're chilling.
But Killa, you didn't get the skill point for all the weapons being V10. We're also missing a weapon.
But now we're killing all the dinos, so how are we going to grind later?
Well, it doesn't matter. That weapon's got some specific circumstances around it. And there's your obligatory use the rhino, get skill point.
Skill point. Yeah, Sargasso's probably where we knock out like a solid, like at least 15% of the skill points.
Yeah, we get a lot of the general skill points on Sargasso. Not to mention all the Sargassian skill points.
Alright.
Alright. Cool.
Look at you landing on all those fellas. I could
Yeah.
call you the head examiner.
I mean, that's what we're here to do. So we have to land on all the dinosaurs' heads.
How much do you think Ratchet weighs? Because like, surely like, he can't, given how athletic he is and that he's like smaller than a lot of like more human-like characters, surely he can't be more than like 160.
I was gonna guess like maybe like 80.
Maybe.
For context, that's 72 kilograms.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know, they're big and they have like stones on their heads and everything, so I imagine they just don't feel Ratchet at all.
I don't know. Do you guys think that tornado sounded like a freight train? I didn't hear it.
I don't know, but I don't think we're in Kansas anymore.
Oh.
You know what? They should have called it that.
Not in
Probably
Kansas
should
anymore.
actually, yeah.
That's fair.
That'd been a lot better, I guess.
Would have given you a better idea to use the tornado. But then you would have thought that you would have had to like destroy something.
Oh yeah, now that we have the Robo Wings, I hope you enjoyed flying through the games.
And the
Because now we're
intended
literally
method.
flying.
Oh no. Dino, don't. No, squish. Bad dino.
Oh no.
This is why we
Yeah,
don't like the
I don't think
dinosaurs.
I don't think they're phased by Ratchet like at all if they're just not reacting to him, just impaling them with
With razor
his
claws?
every single time.
Yeah. I mean, they should want to be examined. They, have just been standing here for like time and time again. See, he just tried to juke me.
You know, Freight Train references Twister. You know,
Okay.
I did not think about that one.
Well, we
I didn't
Local-
realize.
we examined all the heads.
Local
seen
bus
Twister.
enthusiasts did not think about bus, and now did not think about tornadoes when the first thing that came to mind was tornado movies.
To be fair, I've also never seen Twister before, so I
I
don't know
haven't
that
seen
one
it in a
either.
hot minute.
I have seen Speed though, so I can't
I've
hold
seen
you
a
for that one.
little bit of Twister. The tornado movie I remember more is Sharknado.
And
I
here's
think it's
that's
a bad
classic.
thing.
here's Torb's favorite skill point right here, actually.
Oh yeah, this skill point that just lies to you. The description says have 15 enemies turned into penguins all at once. But the issue is, you have to throw 2 transmorphers for this to trigger. So even if you get 15 in one go, you have to throw a second
It's at
transmorpher,
once,
and
though.
that second one has to hit still. It still has to hit one and morph one. I can't tell you how many runs I have lost to exactly that, because that is the single highest concentration of ankle biters in the entire level.
Alright, the dinosaurs are now extinct. There's no more dinos. So it means we've done our job as the local dino exterminators. Oh, whoops. Okay.
Oh yeah,
One,
I hope you didn't forget about
2.
glitched wall jumps.
3, 4,
Oh yeah, that thing.
5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So now we have to get the last weapon that we definitely didn't forget until now. But it's just laying on the ground over here.
Very convenient.
All right, we now have obtained the Alpha Disruptor, which I think is the first time they said an uncensored swear in the series.
And now we also have some golden children. This really is the split where you kind of just like wrap everything up.
We really are getting all the things right now.
You really are, honestly.
Okay.
We've got all the weapons. We've got all the gold bolts.
Wait, there's a dinosaur
We've
here.
got all the rhino parts.
But the skill point
No, the
told me
dinosaurs are extinct.
they told me they're extinct. How is there a dinosaur here? Well, I guess
The
we're gonna
heck?
kill him too. Oh, we're gonna throw another Gravitron because he's not wanting to go into the juice. And
So,
now
for some reason,
everyone's favorite
dinosaur
part
just
of
does not count for extinction. But to be fair, you do need 2 dinosaurs. You would probably need 2 dinosaurs to continue the species anyway, given that you would need a mate.
This is everyone's favorite part of the run. If you tell me otherwise, then you're lying.
It's actually really satisfying though to just like fill this all in.
Oh yeah, menuing is a poor part of spearing, honestly. Good menuing always looks really cool. Bada bing, bada boom.
Upgrade.
Done and done.
Upgraded.
So this is another requirement for 100%. It isn't tracked by skill points. So we just have to make sure that we go through all of them. Once we get to the Rhino, though, that's the last weapon to upgrade. It's always the last weapon to upgrade. Cool. Well, you know what? We should probably buy the V6. Might help if
That
we
would
want to
help.
upgrade it.
Upgrade.
And we're gonna try to get him stuck in like a tree over here. Cool. No Ouya.
Up your arsenal. Good name, good name.
And that is all the skill points and stuff we have to get on Sargasso. We've gotten all the weapons upgraded. We have max health. We have all the Raritanium upgrades. Now we have all the armor. I'm gonna double check to make sure there's not another one. I'm pretty sure that was the last one though.
What do you mean? That's a snowman.
Yep. And then for funsies, I'm going to turn in all the souls. So we're going to be at max bolts as well. And now
So this leads to an interesting property. If you get given bolts, specifically like if you win, like say an arena challenge, your bolts overflow.
Right. Now we're back on Kubalia.
Killa lost a run one time due to having 5,000 bolts in NG+.
So that was back when, back in the days when we still had to do arenas and everything. You get a bolt prize for completing part of the arena. So I had max bolts and everything. And they completed the arena. Was like, I need to give you bolts. I was like, I don't want bolts. And they took them all away from me.
Your wish is my command. I don't know what it is. I feel like Todd sometimes though just gives you the monkey's paw version of what you wish for.
Todd is very cruel, and what you ask for is what you get, and no degree of uncertainty.
I like to describe, to draw a comparison, I like to think of Todd as like Saitama from One Punch Man, who is like only as good as strong or as strong as he needs to be for it to be funny. Todd's only as cruel as the game needs to be for it to be funny.
Now we go to
like that,
Cortog.
honestly.
Now, why didn't you just do this earlier? I mean, it would have been faster if you just did it while you were on this planet and got all the things. Level 1 plasma beasts are pretty notoriously weak against...
You saw how much trouble we were having with the Predator launchers on crag poles. This saves us the headache because we can just bring the plasma beast here and then instead of dying in 3 minutes, they die in 3 seconds.
Oh, surface to air. Snowman's gonna scream at a high-pitched voice. And then we're gonna
do and now we have one more split.
We're gonna do a missile skip, even though we really shouldn't.
Oh no.
We're gonna try to get...
I know what you're doing.
Yeah. Well, I'm not doing tilted. I'm gonna die immediately because I don't have God Rack. Checkpoint.
We got incoming incinerator missiles.
Then we're just gonna die.
When we touch down, we gotta take out those magma cannons. So Miss Talman.
Ow. It didn't give it to me. There are times when you land on the actual floor and it'll activate the checkpoint for not having to do the missile skip anymore. So that's what I was aiming for. Weren't able to actually hit that checkpoint, so we're just gonna have to do the missile skip, or the missile proper. But we have one more skill point that we actively have to go for, and that's nowhere to hide. So in a true skill point fashion, we're just going to destroy all forms of debris that enemies can hide behind. Because we don't like enemies hiding from us. I mean, you saw what we did to the dinos.
Made them dance.
Right.
Yeah, we
made them dance, and then they split their soul into 5 million different pieces.
Yeah. That's what happens when you dance.
Yeah, if I were to draw a comparison, Leviathan's...
That's what we call soul jazz.
Leviathan souls are kind of like... Imagine that, like, that.
Are you trying to make a bus analogy?
No.
Out of the dinos?
I just got confused for a moment because, like, I was thinking of, like, both the party hat and, like, one specific bow from RuneScape that I was going to draw a parallel of, that having multiple of the item just show up just warps the economy of the game completely, especially when you can dupe it.
It's just like multiple buses show up at the same bus stop at the same time. You can't have
All
that.
right, well, we're going to have to buy more Visicopters. Because sadly, we got the bad Visiclip. So we wanted to clip to the left. And we want Ratchet to actually clip out, not the Visicopter. Because, you know, sometimes the game gets confused on what item you actually want to clip out of bounds.
They do call it a Visiclip for a reason, because sometimes you Visiclip, and then sometimes the Visa clips.
Dang, I was trying to reach a joke. I read it wrong.
God, you must have pretty good aim to be able to break those barriers with the Rhino.
I know, right? Look how much spread fire there is. Nowhere to hide. No, we don't want the Visicopter, Ratchet. We're done with the Visicopter. We gotta go kill Tachyon. There we go. Yeah, that's the weapon we want.
Yeah, one thing we thought that the big head mode made them easier. So that wasn't without merit though, because your hurt box is larger. With big head mode or huge head mode on.
I wasn't ready, you contemptible miscreant.
And hardest of the core.
Yeah, wrap your head around that one.
And time.
There we go.
Oh, GG.
So yeah, that was pretty much everything to do in Tools of Destruction. We got all armor upgrades. We played as a snowman, which obviously that's important. Got all the gold bolts. Got all the health upgrades, aka we just killed a lot of stuff. Upgraded all the weapons to V10. Got the golden Gurvachon, the armor magnetizer, the geolaser doesn't count. I wish the geolaser counted. The treasure
Max
mapper
health.
and the box breaker. And now we're finding home.
Hooray.
Not
In
only
memory of
that,
Dan
but we
Johnson.
also did it in less than 30 bus jokes as well.
Thank goodness.
Yeah, there's a tribute to Dan Johnson. There's another cutscene that plays there, but remember what we said about FMVs at the start of the run?
Japanese console, woo!
Yeah, it kind of just destroys the ending.
So yeah,
I guess that being said, we are running a little bit behind, so we should probably wrap it up right now.
gotcha.
Do y'all have any last closing words to say? Anything to plug?
I mean, shout out to Yugi. Yugi's been, as Torp said, killing it through the rest of the future series. He's been doing a lot of good work and trying to optimize the games that he's been running. He's even done a lot for Tools of Destruction. Some of the strats that were done today have been performed and found by Yugi. Also, shout outs to Mobius, who found a majority of the early game movement and everything, and pretty much is a really good optimizer for finding strats that will work faster and everything. So shout outs to both of them. Torp, amazing commentary as always. Probably
Kill amazing gameplay as always.
no more
Heck
bus
yeah.
jokes for the rest of the night though.
Oh, beans.
Well, I guess I'm being put on a bus for the rest of the night then.
I guess that being said, that will conclude our show for this week for Do All the Things. So thank you all for being here. After the break, we're going to be having a Fire Emblem special with Path of Radiance and also Fire Emblem Awakening, so stick around for that. Meantime, I'm Mr. Shast, and I'll see y'all later. Have a good one.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
Absolutely.